we're going to go live a minute early. That's totally fine. Let's do it. There it is. All right, let's go live there. Whoops. Messed up the camera there. We are live on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. We are going live on... Yes, just stay right there. That's fine. Sure, no, just leave it right there. That's perfect. All right, and we are live, I believe, on TikTok as well. I think. I hope we are anyways. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Quite a bit to talk about, as a matter of fact. This is our current situation you could see on the radar right here. We have an abundance of severe weather activity going on, and I mean an abundance. We have a genuine, definitive textbook, however you want to describe it, severe weather outbreak going on as we speak. We have a multitude of severe thunderstorm and tornado-warned storms down in the southern Tornado Alley, Dixie Alley area. We also have some pretty hellacious thunderstorm activity going on in Ohio and the eastern half of Indiana. Getting ready to cross the border of Indiana into Ohio. We are definitely going to try to stay on the air as much as we can, or as long as we can. I'm going to try to be in it for the long haul tonight, guys. We're not going to call it after an hour or something like that. Got my big mug of coffee ready to rock and roll. We are streaming live on YouTube and on TikTok. I apologize to my TikTok viewers. You cannot see the radar imagery, but I'm going to be calling out locations as best as I can. Unfortunately, TikTok does not give me the ability to stream simultaneously just yet. I do not have my live capabilities on there quite yet. We will soon enough, though. We will as soon as we get to 10,000 followers. So if you are watching, definitely consider liking and following, please. Alrighty, guys, so this is the situation as it stands. There's quite a bit going on. We even have reports of big hail currently taking place in northern Mississippi, with a severe thunderstorm warning moving into the southwest quadrant of Tennessee. So there's little to no margin of error here at this point. It looks like there's going to be quite a bit of severe weather activity going on across the spectrum. We're going to start taking a closer look now. We have Nick is currently chasing these storms here just to the north of Caddo, Caney, headed towards Atoka, Tushka in Oklahoma. And there goes my voice already, messing up. Let's see. As a matter of fact, let me try to get him raised up. We got Nick Foster down there. He's chasing a wall cloud. He's got a wall cloud on him right now, as a matter of fact. Judy, welcome in. Thomas, we might try to squeeze in some tropics talk, but this is not necessarily the stream for it tonight. Not tonight. I don't believe so. We're going to try to do as much as we can covering the severe weather event here in the United States because it is very, very expansive. We have a very, very gnarly... Let me get my Epic Pen going here, guys. I didn't really have a chance to set up. I'm literally rolling onto the live stream fresh out of flipping work, immediately fresh out of work. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Hook Echo tornado warned storm right here. Definitely could possibly be producing a TVS signature right in through there. Definitely a possible tornado on the ground. It looks like the system just upstream of it near Madill, Kingston. This is in Oklahoma, getting ready to pass well to the north of the Texas-Oklahoma state line. Mansville, Dixon, Ardmore, you're in close proximity to the secondary storm that I think could go tornado warned. And then there is a gnarly supercell just to the north of that, headed towards Colgate, Tupelo, Stonewall. You can see the hail core is readily apparent in this storm with those high reflectivity values, extremely high reflectivity values. All right, let's take a closer look. We're going to switch from the high-res reflectivity to the high-res velocity. And there you have it. Not that impressive, especially since we are so far away from the radar, but you can see our gate-to-gate shear right in through here. A little bit more pronounced gate-to-gate shear actually occurring with that system to the northwest of the one that's currently tornado-warned over Milburn, headed towards Wapanuka, Tushka, Atoka, Stringtown, Lehigh, and Oklahoma, towards Colgate and Tupelo. Definitely some very, very, very big hail producers as well with this setup. 110%. If we switch on over to the VIL, the vertically integrated liquid, look at that, off the charts. All three of these systems off the charts. The one deep in the middle, Tishomingo, that's a very wonderful city name, right in the middle of that, sandwiched between this triad of severe thunderstorms. Not as impressive, but you can tell that with these systems, when the VIL is that high, you have very, very strong updrafts, very, very intense updrafts. Oh, there you go. Never mind. We had a new radar scan in Tishomingo, just to your immediate north-northwest. Big hail producer as well, easily in excess of an inch or two in terms of size, and that is only the start of it. Down towards the Fort Worth, Dallas area, we have something big kicking off. Nearly 3-inch sized hail going on. Intense. Right over top, Little Elm, Oak Point, Frisco, headed towards Prosper, Hickory Creek, Highland Village. There's a massive, massive supercell down there. Really, really dropping some large hail. We already have storm reports in the ballpark of 3-inch sized hail. Not good down there near the Dallas-Fort Worth area, headed up towards Sherman, Gunter, Anna, Bonham, Bells, all the locations to its immediate northeast. I'm telling you guys, this severe weather event is definitely unlike I've seen, at least during my time on YouTube weather, that's for sure. In Air Force weather, I've definitely seen setups like this, but obviously I wasn't out here reporting to people. I was just collaborating behind the scenes. And this is only one small quadrant of it. Right now, we are looking at the southeast periphery of Oklahoma. We're also looking at the immediate upper portion of eastern Texas, eastern central Texas. Missouri and Arkansas have their own battles that they're currently underway with at least, let me see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 severe thunderstorm warnings with an additional 4, I believe, embedded severe, oh no, it's 5, excuse me, not 5. Actually, yeah, we have 5 special weather statements, 7 individual severe thunderstorm warnings in the state of Missouri, Arkansas by itself. And again, we're only going to continue to sweep up towards the northeast. Plenty of spotters in their path. That tornado warned storm is still moving towards Tushka. I wish we had a better radar site to take a look at it. This one near Wilburton could possibly go tornado warned. Very, very wonderful core associated with that. I need to pick a closer radar. Here we go. Let's get a closer look. Oh, yeah. That's going to go... I don't know why they do not have a tornado warning on that. What are they thinking? Is there not enough gate-to-gate shear with that to be tornado warned? No, I would definitely warn that. What is National Weather Service thinking right now? I would most definitely put a warning on that. You have a very, very localized area of gate-to-gate shear when you look at the SRV. The storm relative velocity, a wonderful-looking hook echo, and almost occluded hook echo at this point with a wonderful V-notch in the midst of that storm as well. So I don't understand why. If you live near Quinton, Wilburton, Kinta, Oklahoma, you have another supercell that's right on top of you. Look at the inflow on that system. The downdraft on the inside of the supercell is getting ready to occlude, and I bet you 10-1 we also have tremendous hail falling in this system as well. That's insane. I don't know why they do not have a tornado warning on that. That is definitely capable of at least producing a funnel cloud, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. Oh yeah, that thing is definitely rotating. It is definitely spinning. We have at least a mezzo down near ground level. That's 100% for certain. It's moving to the right of our environmental flow, headed right. It just barely scraped over Wilburton. Barely scraped over it. Headed towards Fort Smith, Spiro, Cameron, Panama, Bocoche, Cowlington, Gans, Muldrow, Cedarville, Mountainsburg. All this stuff is just going to continue to fire. That is definitely an occluding supercell. We have another one that's spinning up down near Mena in Arkansas. Actually, wow, we have hook echoes everywhere. I need somebody to jump in the chat and help me mitigate with comments. I definitely do. I need somebody to help me with comments or questions, please. We have hook echoes forming everywhere. I'm not even joking. We have a hook headed towards Calvin Stewart in Oklahoma. We have a tornado-warned hook echo near Wapanuka. Nope, that was another severe thunderstorm warning. I don't know why they're not tornado warning that. They definitely need to put a warning on that just to have people sheltered in place in case it drops something at the last second. Weather Florida man, you're in Alma. I just saw Alma, I believe. I just glanced right over it a second ago. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish. I'm not going to count that one as much, but we have multiple potentially producing tornadic storms or tornado-producing storms down across the majority of eastern Oklahoma and the western periphery of Arkansas as we speak. I'm really, really baffled that we do not have additional warnings on these systems. I guess they're just not rotating fast enough to produce a tornado right now, but I'm seeing very, very, very good gate-to-gate shear. Those are definitely hook echoes. Those are 100% hook echoes. And I will argue that until the day I die. Those are 150% hook echoes. You can see the rotation in the storm. And when you look at the base reflectivity and the storm relative velocity, you have very, very good isolated, very isolated gate-to-gate shear, which would indicate at least a mesocyclone close to ground level that is capable of producing at least a funnel cloud. Those are textbook hook echoes. And we have the abundant shear, definitely. Very easily. You got V-notches in these storms. All these storms have V-notches in them, so the shear is definitely there. There's a hook echo. There's a hook echo. There's a hook echo, albeit very weak. This is trying to go hook. The V-notch is a textbook signature that there is definitely enough shear to get these things spinning. Who do I have watching in? They're saying hook echoes on the news. We have no wind, lots of rain, lots of noise. I do apologize if I have folks mentioning anything in the chat on TikTok. There's so much happening right now, and I wish I could stream simultaneously. So if you follow the page, if you're a supporter of the page, share the live stream. Let's get the likes and the follows up a little bit higher. We need to hit 10,000 followers. I'm not doing it for the follows. I'm doing it so I can get the capabilities to stream simultaneously during events like this, not only during severe weather season, but also for the hurricane season as we get closer in time. We'll talk a lot more about that there later on not in this stream, but later down the road. Let me see what's going on with Nick. I need to check back on my Instagram real quick. He has not responded. All right, I'm going to have to switch gears up to the Midwest, but if I had to count right now, we have one area trying to rotate, two areas trying to rotate. This looks like it's definitely rotating. That is definitely still tornado warned. This is definitely rotating. This is definitely rotating. That is definitely rotating. This is definitely rotating. This looks like it's going to try to rotate, but there's not a whole lot to it just yet. Let me switch up towards the Midwest now. Let's start headed up that way. I know I had somebody watching on TikTok from in Missouri, so we're going to start to transition up towards that way. Okay, I'm glad that they discontinued the tornado warning just outside of St. Louis. Where was it that they said they were? Maryland Heights. St. Charles, that's where they said they were. St. Charles. If you're watching on TikTok, I'm not too sure if you are. That tornado warning has dissipated a huge bow echo. Huge bow echo. That is producing very, very, very dangerous winds at the ground level. That is a textbook bow echo right there, trying to turn into a little bit of an embedded derecho, it looks like almost. Blasting to the north through Fulton, Montgomery City, Bellflower, Truxton, Hawk Point, Moscow Mills, Wentzville, O'Fallon, Chesterfield, Wildwood, Des Perez, Maryland Heights, St. Charles. There's St. Charles. You guys are dodging bullets out there right now. I was getting concerned for my folks out there because all of a sudden we had a really, really strong left mover storm that went tornado warned as this wannabe derecho right here just fired off this extreme bow echo. And now look at that, just as we called, if you guys on TikTok are watching the live stream right now, if you go back to the TikTok update I just posted, I said as these systems begin to consolidate and come together, flash flooding is going to be a big issue, and we already have the flash flood warnings starting to go out. Flash flood warnings are starting to go out. We have multiple tornado warnings in Ohio. Let me go ahead and get to the Cleveland, Ohio radar. This system is definitely on the ground near Bloomville. This has been a long tracker, too. We've had some long track systems up there in Ohio and Indiana throughout the day, for the most part. Earlier, we had one cross from Indiana straight into Kentucky, which was not good. It was definitely on the ground and sustaining for at least a solid 30 minutes. I couldn't really pay close attention to it because I was working, but it was definitely on the move. We have simultaneous tornado-warned storms. Maddie, if you're still in the chat on TikTok, I'm watching one in Bloomville, Scipio, New Washington, Willard, Greenwich, Shiloh, Ohio. Then we have another one that's really massively blowing up. Very, very good hail core with it. Can I have my cursor back? Thank you, Epic Pen. Near Wapakoneta, Botkins, New Knoxville, St. Mary's, just to the immediate east of St. Mary's. Wonderful thunderstorm, almost two separate cores associated with it, with a larger hail core right over Botkins and New Knoxville. That is probably dropping very, very large amounts of hail. The tornado itself would probably be displaced from where our main thunderstorm is. This is not your classic-looking supercell. It's almost like we have two individual cores associated with this system. What does the VIL look like? The VIL is probably unprecedented. I don't even know why I'm pulling it up. Okay, we're either too far from the radar or it is starting to collapse because I do not buy that bill whatsoever. Do not buy that bill whatsoever. Echo tops are very, very impressive on this as well. Let me see if I can switch over to 3D and not dork this up at all. How can I... Oh, here we go. This is how I tilt. Will you let me tilt? There we go. All right, so we might be a little distant from the radar there, and then there's another massive storm just upstream getting ready to cross the Indiana-Ohio border. That's another one that's definitely producing some very, very massive, gnarly hail, unprecedented hail for sure. There we go. We just got another scan update. Let me switch over to the VIL once again. There we go. Now it looks like we're getting a bit more of an accurate reading. I might have to get a little closer to that cell that's moving through Muncie or Muncie. Yeah, we're definitely way too far from that cell. I got to switch to the Indianapolis radar. Much better. Very consolidated area of rotation. Not the most impressive. We still have mainly outbound readings here. But you can definitely see where the gate-to-gate shear is in relation to where the radar is and where the thunderstorm itself is. There it is, moving right over Parker City, Farmland, and Indiana, headed towards Winchester, Union City, Saratoga. Will Youngstown, Ohio be safe tonight? Is it coming my way? I'm in Nashville, Indiana. Let me go ahead and take a look for you. I got to keep bouncing back and forth between the two different streams. This is the bummer about not having enough followers on either of these platforms to get everything just consolidated. I need the TikTok live studio so I can get the stream key and just stream to everybody so everybody can see. Nashville, Indiana. So yes, you are in a safe zone. I can see Nashville, and you are well down to the southwest. If you're south of Indianapolis, you're doing okay for now, but there's no saying that the tornado warnings that are still ongoing in southern Illinois won't end up going your way in a few hours. Significant tornado east of Santa Fe. Santa Fe, which location? Santa Fe. I'm used to Santa Fe, New Mexico. I'm not used to check instant and scroll up Missouri. I sent the damage from the Kentucky tornado. Santa Fe, Ohio. Okay, Ohio. Santa Fe, Ohio. There she is right here. This is what I'm looking at. Need to find a closer radar. This is not as easy to manipulate as Gibson Ridge. I'm really thinking if I can come into a little bit more money, I'm going to just go all in and purchase Gibson Ridge. I'm not used to using Radar Omega. I'm very slow with Radar Omega. Oh, yeah. That's definitely a tornado over Parker City, Farmland, Indiana. Parker City, Farmland, Indiana, Georgetown, just to the immediate east of Selma, only within a couple miles of Selma, Indiana. Shedville down to the southwest of Shedville, southwest of Ridgeville, Deerfield. That is 100% a rotating thunderstorm. Please take shelter if you have any means of doing so. This area of rotation right over Santa Fe, Geyer, Gutman, Lakeview, Ohio, Russell's Point, Jackson Center, just to your immediate north in Jackson Center, you have a rotating supercell that's moving through that area as we speak. Shoot, perhaps that's what we're seeing then. Let me switch over to some dual pole. Oh, yeah. That could very well be debris that we're seeing right now. Yeah, that is more than likely debris that we're seeing on the radar. That is not a secondary hail core. That is definitely debris more than likely. A nice debris ball being picked up by that tornado. Gnarly tornado moving right through Santa Fe, Ohio right now. Can see the debris ball, very small bounded weak echo region up there. Is there anything new for Southeast Missouri, specifically Cape Girardeau? I'm probably mispronouncing that. Let me go ahead and take a look, Anthony. We're going to pan off of this area in Ohio. Ohio is definitely under the gun right now. Winchester, you have a very strong storm headed your way. Southern Illinois, we still have some ongoing tornado warnings. Yep, just to the very, very immediate north, couple miles north of Louisville in Illinois. Kinmundy, another tornado-warned storm. There's some very, very strong thunderstorms just to the east of St. Louis, probably still within St. Louis city limits. Bellevue, Lebanon breeze. Mildstadt, Smithton, Okawville. Mount Vernon's trying to get something to spin up as well. Lots of big hail reports. Big hail is going to be the number one issue with these storms. Flash flooding is still ongoing just outside of St. Louis, St. Charles area, Chesterville, Granite City. Very, 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 very heavy rainfall with these cells as they move through and they consolidate. But it looks like No, I would definitely say the tornado threat is not done for Missouri. These storms are still blasting to the north, and with all that forward momentum, you can see the little whirlpools mixing in on the reflectivity. So, Missouri, you're not out of the woods. We definitely have a severe thunderstorm warning that's ongoing for Troy, Wentzville, Old Monroe, Winfield, Foley, St. Charles. If I have my person watching from St. Charles, there it is. Yeah, Fritos, thank you for joining. St. Charles, you have a severe thunderstorm warning right on top of you. You guys are going to have some very powerful winds headed through your area right now. Thankfully, the tornado threat is diminished for your area. Earlier, I was a little concerned with that left mover that suddenly just decided to make a run for your area, but that has definitely washed out. We have a bow echo moving to the north of your location, northwest of your location, and it looks like a large area of the more rotating cells, or the more conducive for rotating cells, are now off to your east. So you're going to be clearing out soon. You just got to ride this out for another 20, 30 minutes at best. Just got to ride it out for a little bit longer. All right, we're going to start transitioning down to the south. Arkansas is definitely blowing up right now. Arkansas is definitely going crazy. Storms are still trying to rotate. They're trying to rotate and they're trying to consolidate. Did not mean to rhyme, that's for sure. Good gate to decent gate to gate shear here. A little bit of weakening gate to gate here, weakening gate to gate there. So we're losing that gate to gate shear, thankfully. But then again, we are using a far away radar. Let me go down to Fort Smith, see if we can get a better look. Okay, here we go. The storm near Mena, Hatfield, that system itself is starting to lose its gate to gate. I mean, it's definitely still there. We have very, very strong inbound rotation, that's for sure. Norman, headed towards Hot Springs, Mountain Pine. We still got to watch this one. They might put a tornado warning on at the last second. Same thing with Plainview, Ola. I believe that's Danville, Belleville. All these systems are headed towards Bigelow, Adona, Opelo, Morrilton, Conway, Mayflower. Hot Springs Village is in the direct line of that one more pronounced rotating thunderstorm. Headed back into Oklahoma, we still have an ongoing tornado warning. Still have an ongoing tornado warning. We're a little far from the radar. We can't see it perfectly. Let me check my Instagram real quick. No updates as of yet. No updates. New tornado warning for Bible Grove, Illinois. Oh, we got a tornado warning inside the perimeter of Dallas. Northern Dallas, we have a tornado warning. Little Elm, Frisco, Prosper. 2-inch hail moving through that area right now. 2.5-inch hail moving through that area right now. We have a storm report. That is a dangerous situation. That is a very highly populated area as well. If I have anybody who knows anybody in Texas or can share the live stream, get this out there. YouTube is either smothering the live stream or I did a terrible job of my thumbnail, as I always do, because I'm apparently garbage at making these things. We got to get the word out. We have a new tornado warning that just popped up just to the immediate north of the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area. Let me see. Where is there a radar? Burleson radar. Yeah, there she is. Definitely coming together right near Frisco. Frisco, Hackberry, Little Elm, Prosper, Rock Hill. Headed towards Bloomdale, Buckner, Rhea Mills, McKinney, Fairview. Definitely take your necessary precautions right now. That is a tornado warning storm that just popped up within the last 5 to 10 minutes. Definitely a very, very pronounced system. Intense core with that, dropping tremendous hail, undoubtedly. And we got another storm that's trying to pop off inside of Fort Worth as we speak. But this one definitely is producing. It is not producing already. Excellent gate-to-gate shear on the inside if you look at the SRV. Yeah, that's not good. That's definitely not good. That's a very, very populated area as well. You can see it in all the different intersecting streets. Can zoom right down into it. I would assume our tornado is somewhere right in through here. And that's not the time I need my ink to go small. Thank you very much. Right in through here. Here's your hail core. Very, very good rear inflow to the cell. There's your forward inflow or your forward rotation to it. I'm suddenly forgetting all the different terminologies for these supercells. Nazario PDS issued go there now. Where is it? In Ohio? All right, we're shooting back up towards Ohio. Let me clear the ink out of the way. Folks, if you're watching on TikTok, yeah, it's going to be windy, Fritos. It's going to be very windy. You have a very, very sharp squall feature moving through your area right now. That bow echo is just going to push as much wind and as much momentum in your direction as possible. New tornado warning, Upper Sandusky. Another tornado warning in Ohio. Damn, this is why I wish I had more time to look at things. This is really why I wish I had more time to look at things, because Storm Prediction Center definitely dropped the ball on this big time. They had their tornado alerts all sorts of skewed. I mean, maybe not skewed, but just not optimal. Not in optimal areas. Definitely not in optimal areas. Which one is the PDS warning? Another tornado warning for Arkansas. That's probably the same one we were just looking at. That probably is the same one that we were just looking at. Is this the PDS? There it is. Yep, this is the PDS right here. The one that just moved through Santa Fe. Russell's Point, Bell Center, Northwood, Rush, Sylvania. Wow, that's a mouthful. Rush, Sylvania in the direct path, Huntsville. If I had to make a guess, just looking at this reflectivity, this tornado is somewhere right in through here. Somewhere right in this general area to the south of where you see those max DBZs. Tornado is somewhere right in through there. It has to be. This could possibly be the debris ball affiliated with it. Let me switch on over to our dual pole. It's hard to tell. It's not really showing up on correlation coefficient. Okay, it could be possibly further to the north then, near Round Head. Very, very intense. I have family in Kansas, Missouri. Hope everything is okay. What parts of Kansas and Missouri? That is definitely a very, very dangerous situation right there. I'm going to switch the radar. Got to get a closer look somehow. Here we go. All right, so looking at this radar a little bit closer, it does seem like the actual tornado could be possibly to the north. Just to the north, immediate east-south or west-southwest of Bell Center, headed towards Northwood, just passing through Russell's Point and Lakeview. No, not at all, and that's another reason why I kind of briefed Ohio wasn't going to have to worry too much, because it wasn't until very early this morning when I glanced at models I noticed that there was a lot of good capes suddenly bleeding into the western half of the state, and here we go. It's being untapped big time. Gosh, this is why I wish I could do this full-time. There's not enough time to look at all this. This is literally a multi-AOR event, and I barely had time to look down over Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Which part of Marion? Username Hart. I think Chicago got the worst of it last night. We're just windy today. You're probably on the backside of the cold front at this point in Chicago. Yeah, Chicago is most definitely on the backside of the cold front. You guys are quiet up there. You're probably seeing post-frontal winds, and you've officially fully stabilized. But right now, we're right on the leading edge of where this system is trying to push a little bit further to the south, and our stationary front is just to the north of there, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can overlay an analysis on here. I believe there's a way to overlay an analysis. Wind speed. Let me turn wind speeds on. Can I put current analysis on? METAR's surface fronts. Here we go. Yes, I can put the latest analysis on. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're looking at a more improved map. Okay, now I can go off of this. So we have a really nice stationary boundary just to the north over southern Michigan, just barely to the north of Ohio, Indiana. And that's exactly why all of these systems are firing off, because we have weak frontal advection, or movement of that cold air through central into southern Illinois. And it's slowly but surely just scooping all of this up. And if I were to zoom out for my folks watching on YouTube, you guys can't see it on TikTok. Right in through here is where our low-level jet is, and you can see the warm front moving up the eastern seaboard right there. And that's exactly why we have everything firing the way that it is. It's a wonderfully elongated setup for all this severe weather activity, and the buoyancy was definitely there, and it does not seem like the frontal boundary is moving as fast as anticipated up to the north. The southern half is definitely dipping south. You can see the punch of cold air moving through the Texas-Oklahoma panhandle, which is why Kansas, western side of Oklahoma, the Texas panhandle, and the front range is clear for the most part. They're probably still getting snow, more than likely. We're going to zoom back down into Arkansas real quick, folks, because we finally have a tornado warning, thankfully, on that one storm we were talking about a little bit ago. Definitely wrapped up. Solid V-notch, solid exhaust setup on that thing, as we'd like to say in the car field or the car scene. There's your V-notch. Excellent wind shear component with it. There's your twister right in through here. This is a bit more of a textbook supercell. And if I were to turn on the base velocity, we'll probably see it plain as day. And there she is. Yep, rotating around. Looks like we're getting a little bit of additional rotation to the north where that system is trying to push towards plain view. Is there a closer radar that I could use to this area? Because we're still a little far away using this radar. I guess we're not that far. We're moving towards the radar. I wish that there was something a little bit closer. Either that or I'm just not seeing it. Let's try this one out of Fort Smith. There she goes. Now we can see it a lot more clearly. Wonderful gate-to-gate shear. There's your twister right in through there. Headed towards the 270 interstate. Mountain Pine is in the direct path. It looks like this is a bit more of a rural impact here, which is very good. It does not seem like it is as highly populated. I don't really see very much in the way of it. Mid-America Industrial Park. Hot Springs is just outside of the projected path of this cell, but that is definitely rotating. It looks like we have another rotating cell to the north that might try to go tornado warn. I'm going to switch over to the SRV, see what we got. A little bit of weak gate-to-gate shear, nothing too impressive. The one down to the south is definitely a little bit more organized. Let me go back to the base reflectivity and see what we can see. I mean, it's echoing. It's definitely hooking out. Nice core with it. System upstream does not look like it's going to hold its integrity. It looks like it's falling apart unless it does recycle. Just subscribe to your channel, Chris from Oklahoma. Chris, welcome in. Thank you very much for joining us. So we're definitely, we're fired up right now. There's a lot going on. We still have the tornado warning headed towards Atoka, Tushka, Stringtown, Lehigh in Oklahoma. And the one near Stonewall, looks like it might try to spin up. Same thing with Stewart, Oklahoma, headed towards Crowder. It looks like we have a little bit of rotation on that cell as well. That's right along the leading edge of our cold front. Oklahoma City just saw the cold front come through, if not shortly just thereafter. Or just shortly before that. What am I talking about? Indiana being hit in Fishers. Let me go ahead and take a look. We're going to head back up there right now. Got more lots of flash flood warnings. Lots of flash flood warnings, so we definitely hit the nail on the head with the flash flood forecast. That is 100% for certain. Tornado warning getting ready to cross into Ohio from Indiana. Winchester, that's a very, very powerful storm headed your way. In fact, it's right on top of you, headed towards Union City and Saratoga. Saratoga is going to get dumped on by very, very large hail. Extremely large hail. Columbus, Ohio, Brook Ward. Let me go ahead and take a look. Let's switch on over. I'm losing my train of thought. Where is Columbus? I've seen it plenty of times. There we go. I was going to say, I know it's not up to the north. So Columbus, Ohio is dodging bullets right now. Dodging bullets, but as long as these storms to the northwest and west-northwest can fall apart before they make it in, the one that's moving through Winchester right now is definitely the one of the more dangerous situations, as well as the one just to the northwest of Columbus. Let me put the radar on a loop, see if that stuff is developing. All right, we have stuff developing in the immediate vicinity of Columbus, Ohio, near Jerome, Delaware, Centersburg, headed towards Mount Vernon, just barely escaped Marysville. We have stuff forming up on the leading edge of our main area of activity. Very, very intense activity. These are long track systems. This is not good. I want to file a complaint with Storm Prediction Center because they definitely dropped the ball on this heavily. We have a right mover headed towards Willard and Shiloh in Ohio. I'm just going to leave the radar right here. For folks on YouTube and for folks on TikTok, if I have anybody watching, when I say right mover, left mover, that's a very, very bad sign. What that means is it's moving either to the right or to the left of the environmental flow, which means that thing is definitely a severe thunderstorm. You need to get the heck out of its way. The systems are blowing up very quickly. We cannot stay ahead of them. It is very difficult to stay ahead of them. X Nazario has never stated that. What do you mean X? Who's X? What happened? New tornado. I have a question. Jasper, Indiana. I'm sorry about that. I just missed your comment. Jasper, Indiana. Whereabouts in Indiana is Jasper? I struggle with the geography of the Midwest. I'm a Western CONUS forecaster by trade. If you ask me anything about the western half of the United States, I'm there to tell you immediately. But I'm not very familiar with the 15th OWS AOR. Jasper, okay, I see you now. Jasper's way off to the south. You're going to have to watch the activity that's still in Illinois as of right now. The steering flow is going to keep it away from your area. There is nothing in the immediate vicinity of your area. However, we have quite a bit of activity in the St. Louis, Missouri, headed through southern Illinois, flash floods. If it continues to propagate due east, you're going to get grazed. You're going to get a close shave by the severe weather. But as far as I can tell, Jasper is in the clear, at least for the next couple of hours. Brooke, if you're still there, did you hear what I had mentioned about Columbus, Ohio? Gnarly tornado warnings everywhere. We got to stay up in Ohio. We definitely got to stay up in Ohio. I'm watching that right mover. Yeah, that is not good. I know we have that PDS down near Russell's Point in Huntsville, but this is not good. This supercell is really wrapping up in itself. Oh, and that's also PDS now as well. That's also, I just went PDS 3 minutes ago. PDS 3 minutes ago. This is a life-threatening situation, and this is one time on this channel where I'm actually saying it for real. Finally saying it for real. New Haven, Willard, Shiloh, Greenwich. We don't have very many people in the chat right now, but you know what? If there's anybody who knows folks in Ohio, anybody who can get the word out, I'm saying it for real this time. You heard it a lot. You heard us roasting a lot of people during the hurricane season last year, but this is serious. Life-threatening situation. This is a dangerous storm. Very, very powerful storm. Easily going to be a powerful tornado on the ground. Just looking at the echo, looking at the velocities. The velocities are through the roof. The velocities are in the blue. We have officially reached the blue in terms of inbound. The gate-to-gate shear is legitimately unprecedented. This has got to be a F2, F3 tornado, if not stronger than that. And there's a lot of gate-to-gate shear with it. A tremendous amount of gate-to-gate shear with it, and it's moving to the right of the flow, so it is not going to continue to propagate in the same direction as the rest of the nearby supercells. It's going to move a little bit further to the south because it's moving to the right, and it's just that wrapped up in itself. It's literally spinning off course. Its own momentum is spinning it off course. That is terrible. Yep, you can see it. If I run the loop, you can see it moving east-southeast. You can see that twister moving to the east, just barely to the right of the flow. It barely missed Republic, Scipio, Attica. It just barely missed you guys. And it's headed right towards Shiloh. We have intense gate-to-gate shear with that. What does the storm relative velocity look like? Dear God. We're literally maxed out in terms of the thresholds. We have shades of white just to the south of Attica. This is a dangerous tornado, life-threatening tornado. You definitely need to be sheltered in place. You need to be in the most interior portion of your house, underground. Stay away from windows. Stay away from the outermost walls. Stay out of your vehicle. If you're watching out there or you know somebody out there, this tornado is going to kill you. And I've never said that on this channel before. I've never said this on this channel before. That tornado will wreck you. It'll do damage. You're not going to survive if you get caught in this tornado. We have 2-inch hail in this thunderstorm as well. Emergency management has confirmed the tornado. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. So we're looking at an F2, ladies and gentlemen, possibly F3. Maybe even stronger than that. We have no confirmation, no way to confirm it. We have another system just upstream of that that's also tornado warned that could possibly be heading in the same direction. So we might get a 2-for-1 deal up there in Ohio. And I genuinely just feel for these people. That is a ridiculous amount of rotation in this storm. Ridiculous. I'm at a loss for words. I really hope that Reed Timmer, Ryan Hall, whoever out there is doing live coverage of this, they need to be documenting this right now. Stressed Mama, this is right in New Haven, Ohio, Shiloh, Ohio, Greenwich, Ohio, Savannah, Ohio. You might have just joined the TikTok stream a couple moments ago. Yes, Derpies, you're absolutely correct. That's exactly the one that we're looking at right now. Very, very powerful supercell with that. And then we have more just upstream. More just upstream. I'm going to take you off the radar for a second, ladies and gentlemen, so we can go over to SPC, because SPC definitely missed the mark. They definitely missed the mark. For my YouTube folks, if you guys are watching right now, come on, Storm Prediction Center, let's load up. Yeah. No. If you guys, for my YouTube folks who can see the overlay right now, they missed the mark big time on this. They did not. There was no warning. There is no warning for this setup. You have a 2% risk up there in Ohio, 5 to 9% risk in Indiana and Illinois, and then the main area, which was dropped. We had an enhanced area for strong tornadoes through Arkansas and Oklahoma and northern Texas, and it was dropped. We don't have anything in the realm of a level 2 or level 3 risk up there in Ohio. This is bad even on me. For my TikTok viewers, for my YouTube viewers, I was not, and I'm not going to throw the excuse in there that I just don't have time, and I don't have time to obsess over this stuff, but I could have seen this. I could have seen this coming, and no one has seen it coming. Ohio, if you're out there, that's definitely not good. That's going to be... Yep, and it's moving to the right. You can see the debris ball as well in the loop. You can see the debris ball. Is it weakening? Nope, it is not weakening. It is not weakening just yet. It is still blasting through that area for certain. All right, let's get back on target. So we have a very, very dangerous situation unfolding in Ohio right now, headed towards Shiloh, Greenwich. In fact, let me zoom in and just blast out as many names as I can possibly say. It looks like the tornado is getting ready to cross Interstate 598 just to the immediate southwest of New Haven, moving just outside Celeryville, Waynesburg, headed right at Shiloh. It's headed right towards Shiloh. There's a tornado on the ground, and it's headed right towards Shiloh, Ohio. Greenwich, Ohio is definitely going to have to watch. If this thing wiggles and wobbles to the north, you're going to be in its direct path. It is crossing the interstate right now, looking at radar. It is crossing crossing the interstate. It is insane. 100% missed. 100% missed. This definitely warrants a hatched area for Ohio, and I'm very shocked that they haven't even put it out now. Like, they have not updated their charts. I'd be breaking my charts right now. I'd be breaking continuity and doing a manual upload, or a manual dissemination, as we used to call it. Correction, a core for abbreviation, as we used to call it in Air Force weather. I'd be coring the charts right now and putting out a whole new advertisement, because this is not good. In fact, once again, just like with the previous setup, Ohio is the one that's being dealt the crappiest hand in this whole thing. We still have ongoing tornado warnings near Olney and Robinson, Illinois, headed towards the southern half of Indiana. The front is pushing down. Front's trying to push down and stabilize everybody. Only thing we have going for us right now is if the sun can finally completely go down. It's completely down here, so we're getting very, very close, if not already on sunset, or past sunset, out there in the central United States. Yeah, we've got multiple tornado-warned storms. Oskaloosa, Sailor Springs, Clay City, Bible Grove, Newton, multiple tornado-warned storms. Marshall, tornado-warned storm headed right towards you. Prairieton, Terre Haute, however you say that, Prairie Creek, Fairbanks. We have some very, very gnarly supercell activity going through Nashville, Lively Grove, Nashville. We just had somebody in the chat mention Nashville. Didn't somebody in the chat just mention Nashville? Who in the chat, whether it be on TikTok or on YouTube, or am I already blurring the thing together? Didn't somebody just ask about Nashville, Illinois? Because Nashville, Illinois is getting bombarded by severe weather right now. No tornado warning, thank God. No tornado warning on top of that area, but there's definitely a lot of hail probably falling out of that storm. The Ville undoubtedly is past the radar threshold, so we have a very strong updraft, likely multi-trip hailstones falling in that storm right now, upwards of 1.5 to 2 inch sized hail. That's going to do some damage. There's going to be a lot of insurance claims, a lot of comprehensive claims, and comprehensive deductibles going in first thing tomorrow morning. My daughter asked, why do you think the tornadoes are so bad in Ohio this year compared to the past? It could very, very well have to do with our El Nino pattern. I'm not going to get into the science behind that because I have too much going on behind the scenes in terms of studying what the effects of all these different oscillations are doing, not only over North America, but across the tropics, which... Random fun fact, guys, I'm very, very heavily note-taking all sorts of different things to prepare us for the tropical season. In fact, all the way down to trying to create some preliminary track forecasts. That's how confident in the studies that I am. And I know some people are going to say, you don't know that, but you know what? I'm digging through paper after paper after paper to the point where I'm just mentally and physically beaten to death trying to research all this stuff and just better myself during these hiatuses on YouTube. All right, let's see. Let's do a zoom out. We're going to switch over to our composite reflectivity and TikTok, folks. If you guys are still tuned in, I do very, very sincerely apologize. We don't have the capabilities of streaming simultaneously, so you have to do with my narration. What I could possibly do is switch the... I don't know if that's going to work. I'm just going to leave it right now. I'm going to leave it where it is right now. I'm getting a lot of notifications on Instagram. Let me see if my buddy Nick has gotten back to me just yet. All right, let's get back on track. So now we're looking at our composite reflectivity, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 active tornado warnings spanning from Ohio, northern Ohio, all the way down through southern Illinois. That's 7 tornado warnings active for the Midwest, and if we scroll down towards the Dixie Alley Great Plains area, we currently have 2 active tornado warnings. Thankfully, they have discontinued the one that's moving through the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Still definitely 1.7 inch hail, 1 3/4 inch hail falling out of that storm out there in Dallas-Fort Worth, right over Prosper, Weston, getting some very, very, very bad thunderstorm activity, probably strong winds, very large hail. Still have a tornado-warned storm in Lehigh, Stringtown, Atoka. That's where Nick is postured. I just messaged him on Instagram. All right, so he confirmed that this system here in Lehigh, Stringtown in Oklahoma is not producing a tornado. It is not producing a tornado, and he's currently headed back down south on the 6975 interstate, getting ready to pass the Texas-Oklahoma state line, punching right down towards this system that's moving through Weston and Prosper. So he's going to try to intercept another storm out there. Weatherman, Weather Florida man, where are you? What's your current location? Making my way towards an... Okay, so yeah, you are following him. I just saw your chat or your comment pop up. Folks, what do you guys got in the TikTok chat? Amy quadruple 17, such a pretty boy. I've been told I'm the Chad of the weather sphere, the Giga Chad of the weather sphere. Do my hair and everything. Just kidding. I mean, I do. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I got to make sure I look at least somewhat presentable. Still an active but small tornado warning looking to expire very soon, headed right through Lake Quachita towards Mountain Pine Hot Springs Village. Luckily, a very, very unurbanized or very low population area in Arkansas, but still widespread severe thunderstorms ongoing. Can't forget about the severe thunderstorms. Luckily, we are starting to develop that frontal appendage. We are starting to develop a full-fledged squall line, so hopefully these discrete cells will start to go away. And we still have some dangerous storms ongoing through parts of northern Alabama and northern Mississippi. What in the heck is going on right now? Because that definitely was not briefed by very many people at all. We have special weather statements, Swiss statements coming out of Jackson, Selmer, and Tennessee. We have some things going on near Hamilton, Alabama, Russellville, Hodges. Severe thunderstorm headed towards Vina or Red Bay, crossing the Mississippi-Alabama state line. And it looks like there's more discrete activity trying to form up down in southern Mississippi. There's an embedded trough rotating around the backside, not at the backside, the front side, excuse me, the leading edge. We have an embedded trough rotating around one of our stable waves within this frontal line that's trying to activate some convection down in southern Mississippi. Southern Mississippi, it looks like we might have just a little bit of untapped buoyancy that's still left over from the day today. A couple of very small, discrete cells trying to go off. Nothing special weather statement or severe right now, but it is worth mentioning that we have some very, very isolated convective activity trying to blossom through interior Mississippi and parts of Alabama, just to the southwest of Montgomery. So it goes to show we're watching everybody right now. We are definitely keeping a close eye on everything going on. Here we go. We got an observation. Got an observation on that right mover. I'm scared. I honestly don't even want to. I'm stressing out. Not stressing out legitimately, guys, but I don't even want to click on this observation. What are they going to say? Fire department reported half-mile wide tornado crossing State Route 103 near the Crawford County, Ohio, and Huron County line. Half-mile wide tornado. That is incredible. Half-a-mile wide tornado moving through Chi. That is a very, very dangerous situation. West Mansfield, Rushsylvania, you have a very, very gnarly supercell tornado-warned storm moving through that area as well. This is not going to be stopping anytime soon. We got to switch radars. I got to switch radars, find a better radar site to look at these storms down here. Here we go. We'll go down to the Wilmington radar. West Mansfield, another tornado, definitely on the ground. Union City, tornado on the ground. You can see it, gate-to-gate shear. Very, very wonderful gate-to-gate shear. It looks like we're finally starting to lose the rotation out of that Greenwich, Bailey Lakes, headed right into Ashland, Polk, West Salem, Congress, Wooster, Ohio, north of Mansfield. Columbus Brook, if you're still there, Columbus you're getting close. As long as this system over West Mansfield doesn't become a right mover, it's going to move to the north of Columbus. Oh, it's a right mover. It's a right mover. Shit. Pardon my language. It's moving to the right of the flow. It's moving right through West Mansfield right now. It's headed to the north of Columbus. Brooke, if you're still in the chat, please tell me where it is that your folks are out of. Give me a subdivision. Give me an area. My daughter asked, why do you... Okay, we already saw that. Brooke Ward, if you're still in the chat, I say again, please let me know a small subdivision in the Columbus, Ohio area. You have a right mover supercell that's just gaining intensity. It is strengthening, moving through West Mansfield right now. Tornado confirmed on the ground. 100%. 100%. I don't need to look at an observation or anything like that to tell you that. You have a very, very isolated core. Union City has a tornado propagating due east right through it, headed towards Greenville, Bradford, and Sonia. Westerville, okay. That's right on track to head right towards Westerville. It is headed right towards Westerville. If I extrapolate this forward and it continues to move to the right of the flow, it's going right. It's going to move barely to the north of Westerville. They need to be sheltering in place. They need to be sheltered in place. They need to go into an interior part of the home. They have about 15 minutes before this thing is right on top of them. It's moving at a very steady pace. Moving at a very steady pace, and the projected path puts it right into Delaware, Magnetic Springs, Ostrander, Powell. Westerville is going to get very, very close shaved by this storm. As wonderful as you are to look at, show the map. People want to see what you were describing. How far is it from Englewood? I can try to switch the camera over, Amy, if you want me to do that. Let me see if there's any way I could facilitate that. Let me go ahead and do some magic here. This is on my tablet. Let's see here. Where the heck is the rotate the camera? There we go. Okay. There's your right mover. Let me go ahead and... Can I do this? Nope. The case is going to get in the way. Put it on the other side. Or actually, better yet, let me move it like this. Put it like so. That's using your head, David. There we go. All right, for my TikTok folks, you're going to have to see a very, very zoomed-in perspective. That's a very, very rapidly intensifying tornado. You can see the gate-to-gate shear moving through that system as we speak. Move my keyboard over and stuff like that. I'm going to keep my eyes on this one. In fact, I'm going to switch to two radar images. How do I do that again? There we go. move this. Let me go ahead and activate this radar. Either that or it's taking forever to load. There we go. All right, let's switch this one. I want to switch this to high-res reflectivity. That is a rain-wrapped tornado. That is a very dangerous tornado. It is rain-wrapped, moving through West Mansfield, headed right toward... They just extended the tornado warning, too, to encompass Delaware, Berkshire, Sunbury. Westerville is in the very southernmost extent of this path. I don't know if they're extrapolating it properly. I think they have it just a little bit too far to the north, that tornado warning field. It's going to move down a little bit further to the south. Just like when we track our hurricanes, folks, this thing is probably going to hug the southern side of this warning triangle. So Westerville definitely needs to shelter in place. Brooke, tell me, give me something more than that, Brooke. Give me like a street name, a subdivision, something tiny that I can zoom in on. I'm going to turn the dual radar off. Turn this off so we can go back to just the one. How far away are they from Flint? I told her to watch your stream until she is in the clear, but currently I'm bouncing back and forth. That's okay, Brooke. Are they closer to Africa, Harlem? Are they inside the immediate Westerville area? The one northeast of Dallas looking more impressive. All right, we're going to switch on over to that really fast, and then we're going to come back to this. Very, very dangerous setup, though. We have very powerful tornadoes. It looks like that Ashland Bailey Lakes location area, the half-mile wide stovepipe tornado up there, is weakening. But now West Mansfield is really getting going, and it looks like Ansonia Greenville is definitely getting going as well. Multiple tornado warnings in southeastern Illinois as well. Southeastern Illinois. Yep, they got a tornado warning on that storm again in Dallas-Fort Worth. Oh, wow, look at that. That thing definitely kicked off. Let me let Nick know. All right, I'm going to switch my camera back over again. I got to switch the camera back over from my TikTok, folks. I do apologize. I just don't want to miss the chat. I don't want to not be looking at this. So once again, if you folks on TikTok can share the live stream, follow along so we can get the stream key on my TikTok so I can start streaming simultaneously so everybody can see everything. Wow, yeah, we have some very, very good gate-to-gate shear right in through there. Weston, Kelly, Anna, Westminster, Melissa. That's definitely a rotating supercell, 150%. Sunbury Road, Hoover Dam. All right, let's go back up there. Tornado in Texas. That is 100% certain. That is going to be a confirmed tornado in Texas. They've finally discontinued the tornado warning headed towards Hot Springs Village. Can you look at Upper Sandusky, Josh? Upper Sandusky. Yeah, let's get on that. Upper Sandusky in Ohio. Oh, gosh. Where's my coffee? Upper Sandusky. Okay, I know where I'm going now. So Sandusky is right on the lake. Okay, Sandusky, you are good. Josh, you are okay. There's nothing in your immediate horizon, nothing just upstream of your location that you need to be worried about. Yeah, it looks like the Ashland tornado that was confirmed to be half a mile wide has started to tone down, but that system that's moving towards Westerville is definitely not good. Definitely not looking good. We're going to just keep our eyes on that, folks. I do apologize. If I have any questions in either chat, please let me know, and I will direct the attention for sure, but right now I really, really, really want to watch closely on what this thing does. Because that's trying to go toe-to-toe with our storm that just formed up near Willard and Shiloh, Ohio. And it looks like that storm could still be trying to rotate as it heads towards West Salem. But that is definitely getting going. That's incredible gate-to-gate shear. There is a tornado moving through that area right now. Weather Florida Man and Nick on Instagram, if you guys are headed down towards the Fort Worth area, definitely need to keep watching closely. Because I'm sure that's going to be a tornado producer as it moves through northern Dallas area, the greater Dallas area. Yeah, you can see it too. If you haven't noticed already, notice how these systems, the general steering flow of all these systems is off towards the northeast, and this thing is moving to the right of that flow. That is definitely a right mover. That's what makes it so dangerous. Those are the stronger systems. This one back here near Greenville and Sonia is definitely growing. Definitely growing. We're getting more and more indications of consolidated gate-to-gate shear. So that's going to be a powerful tornado. Where is the enhanced risk? And forgive me for shouting into the mic. Going back to Storm Prediction Center, and if they don't have an update on that, nope, they do not have an update. Let me go to their main site. There has to be something. There has to be a new mesoscale discussion or something like that. Nah. Let's see. Okay, so they have it on their mesoscale discussions, valid until 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So in 30 minutes, they're going to discontinue the corridor of greater tornado threat. I don't know why they're discontinuing that. What the heck? They have a mesoscale discussion issued for the eastern half of Ohio saying that severe is very unlikely. What? Literally about to just light them up. Yes, definitely please have her tune into the live. Definitely tune into the live. There is no update on SPC. I'm in Westerville, Ohio. Okay, good. Yes, watch very closely because this tornado is going to make a very close pass towards you. Which part of Indiana? I live in Indiana because we have tornado warnings ongoing for the eastern extent of Indiana, the extreme easternmost extent of Indiana. We have one active tornado warning, and then we have two more tornado warning storms in Illinois that are getting ready to cross over here any moment now. Current tornado warning storm in Indiana is moving through Newcastle, Van Nuys, Mount Summit, Moreland. Sad place. Where are you out of? What part of Indiana? Let me know. Give me a geographical point that I could hone in on. Let me know ASAP, too, if you can, please. New tour for Indiana. Another new tornado warning for Indiana. Is that the one that I'm looking at right now, or is there a different one? No, that's got to be the one that I'm looking at right now in Newcastle. What the heck? No. We have detected inactivity in your current live? Are you kidding me? Come on, yes. Verification. Come on, TikTok. What are you doing? I don't know. I live near Brookville. Okay. All right, so you are okay then, sad place. Brookville, you are to the south of where most of our tornado-warned storms are. I'm going to switch over to the Indianapolis radar. Newcastle is where we have a current tornado-warned storm, and you have severe weather upstream of your area on the opposite side of Indiana, but there's nothing in your immediate upstream vicinity. So you're sitting pretty for the time being next to Marshall, Illinois. You have a tornado-warned storm that's going to pass just to your south. Are you on the south? Bug Lady Nerd, are you on the southern side of Terre Haute? Terre Haute, however you pronounce that. I do apologize if I'm butchering the pronunciation on that. We're going to switch over one more time. We're going to move a little bit further to the west. Let me see if I can find a good radar site. Give me a radar site. Am I missing a radar site? Here we go. This is probably going to be the one that's going to look the best. Let's see. All right. Tornado-warned storm just to the very, very immediate west-southwest of Marshall, headed towards Prairieton, Allendale, Youngstown, Riley. Yes, near Riley. Okay, it's headed right towards Riley. It's headed right towards Riley. It's headed right towards the airport in that general area as well, if it can hold on. It's not the most impressive cell. It's not the very most impressive storm, but there's definitely enough to warrant sheltering in place. So please take this serious. You only have a couple minutes before it is right on top of your area. This is moving very fast. It could be a weak F0, F1 tornado, short contact with the ground, but the inbound, or I should say the outbound shear is definitely increasing on it. At least it looks like right over Prairieton. So if you're in Riley, you need to take shelter. You need to be in place. Stay away from windows. Stay away from anything that could possibly blow out. Get to the centermost part of your house. Get underground if you can. Put yourself under a mattress. Get in a bathtub. You know the old adages. And this is very serious. It looks like we just had a rotating storm move through there. It looks like we had a very weak right mover. Just you guys can't see I'm pointing, but it looks like we just had a right mover move through there. What the heck was that? Right in through here. You guys see that? Right here. And then we have another thing upstream of it that's moving in the opposite direction. This is insanity. That definitely looks like a very weak circulation that just moved barely outside of Riley, moving through Corey Art right now. There's no tornado warning on it, so it obviously must not be producing or no one's paying attention to it. But that definitely looks like a secondary cell that just moved through, a little weak right mover. And then we got something else. Yeah, Sailor Springs, another tornado moving to the right. Clay City, another right mover. Louisville, headed towards Olney, Claremont, Sumner, Lawrenceville. Yes, Will, it's definitely very, very bad. Let me get back into Ohio as well. Let me get back towards Ohio because we're getting close to showtime here. I need to get a close radar, close radar, close radar. I need a close radar. Give me a radar site. I'm going to go to the Wilmington radar site. Let's see what we got. Oh, dear God. That's going to be another half mile wider. That thing is just getting stronger. Happy Hanger. Please, if you know people in that area, hit them up right now. Call them, text them, phone them. Honestly, at this point, call the police. Call emergency services and let them know that you guys have a monster tornado headed right towards you. Extreme gate-to-gate shear. It is definitely on the ground right over outside of Raymond, Peoria, headed towards Magnetic Springs. It's going to move just to the south of Magnetic Springs. It's headed right towards Westerville. It's moving to the right of the flow. It's going right towards Delaware, Scioto, or something like that. Whatever that. Get out of the Scioto, Ostrander. It's going right towards you. It's crossing the 31 any moment now. Incredible gate-to-gate shear. That is a violent tornado, a violent life-threatening tornado. Laurel, Indiana. Let me go ahead and switch over. Let me go ahead and switch over to Laurel, Indiana. Whereabouts in Indiana? Greenville tornado is strengthening. Just outside of Union City, that tornado is strengthening, starting to move to the right of the flow. Newcastle tornado looks like it's strengthening. Whereabouts is Laurel, Indiana? All right, I got to look that up. Got to look it up. Where are we at? Where are we at? Maps. In fact, I'm going to put it up here so I can just keep my maps open so I can start searching for these places. Laurel is just to the east-southeast of Indianapolis. So Laurel is going to be right in through here somewhere. All right, so in terms of Laurel, Indiana, does not look like we have much going on right now. Nothing in your immediate vicinity. It looks like you're okay in Laurel. So sad place. Laurel, Indiana is okay. Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Kentucky, as far as I'm aware, should be okay for right now. If I'm not mistaken, Elizabethtown, Kentucky is due south of Louisville. I need to change the background on this. You know what? We're not going to putz with that right now. Let's see. So, Elizabethtown. Just outside of Louisville. So it's due south. Yeah, no, Kentucky is very quiet right now. We had really robust stuff going through earlier, but there's nothing down there in Kentucky. Go to Ohio. I wish we had storms where I lived. I'm not sure if you want these kind of storms. We're going to go back to Ohio. We got to go back to Ohio. We got to keep the coverage on Ohio right now. I apologize for any other viewers in the stream right now who are looking for other areas. I promise I will get to you here in a moment, but we have someone who's imminently under the gun, under the threshold of a very dangerous situation. We have somebody in the chat right now who's watching, who needs the coverage right now. All right, it looks like the vorticity in this cell is dropping, but it's going to be very, very close. The Happy Hanger or Brook, give me a geographic location, please, in Westerville. Are you near Maxtown Road, North State Street, South Old 3C Highway, Freeman Road, the Lakes Golf and Country Club? Does that sound familiar to you? Because that's pretty much exactly what is in the path of this tornado. It is right there, and it is moving due east-southeast like so. So it's going to pass potentially right through the northern half of Westerville. Somebody in the chat, somebody acknowledge, please. Brooke or Happy Hanger, let me know ASAP. We were within minutes of potentially seeing impacts from this thing if it does not start to weaken. You're in Greene, Ohio. Okay. North State Street, Sunbury, right between Hoover Dam area. Okay, here we go. North State Street. Let's take a look. Ooh, my eyes are hurting. North State Street. Okay, there's North State Street, Sunbury, right between the Hoover Dam area. Sunbury. Okay, I see Sunbury. Leaving my cursor over Sunbury. It's going right towards you. If that's where you are, if you're between Sunbury and Westerville, the greater Westerville area, it's headed right for you. It is headed right for you. And what's the timing on this radar? Where's the time on the radar? I got to move this here. So this is a 40-minute loop. No, an hour loop. You got about 15 more minutes before this thing is right on top of you, and it does not look like it is weakening just yet. Yeah, no, it is not weakening. Looking at the storm relative velocity. No, it is not weakening. It is going to move right in between Sunbury and Westerville. It is headed right through this area. Just to the immediate south of Berkshire, just to the immediate north of Westerville, in between Delaware, underneath Magnetic Springs, through Ostrander, Powell, Jerome. If I have folks in Ohio watching, take shelter immediately. She's by Hoover Dam, North Westerville, biggest landmark in the area. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to look it up so I can get that on the map so I can kind of correlate it. There we go, right there. Sunbury. Pardon me if I'm not talking, folks. I'm looking right now. All right, I definitely need to switch this. I need to change the overlays. Display settings. I need to get, not the dark presentation. That's not going to help me. I need the satellite. Much better. There we go. Now we can see. Is that it right there? There's Columbus. All right, so let's zoom out. Clear my ink. Turn off the radar for a second. Are you on the north side of the Hoover Reservoir or on the south side of the Hoover Reservoir? Please let me know ASAP. Watching right in through here. North side or south side of the Hoover Reservoir? Quebec with a heart. I really hope you're not talking about me to calm down. I really hope you're talking about the person spamming hot springs in the TikTok chat. Because if you're telling me to calm down, I'm not going to calm down when I have a viewer in the immediate path of a tornado. Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know why. Let me know, Hot Springs. What state is Hot Springs in? I'm not super familiar with the localized physical locations in the upper Midwest, unfortunately. Sorry, I don't mean to put you on blast. I'm glad that you were mentioning the spammer. South, I'm not good with directions. Yes, okay, so you're on the south side of it. It's going to barely miss you to the north then, at least it should. If you're on the south side of the Hoover Reservoir, then you should be missed just to the north of your location. I'm going to have to put a little circle right in through here. I wish I can tag. Does anyone know if I can tag locations on whatchamacallit, on a radar scope? Because I can put pings and all that stuff. Can I? Wait a second. What is this? Okay, there we go. That kind of helps a little bit. Not so much. I didn't know I could draw. I need the flippin' toggle, though. I need a way to mark a physical location. All right, I'm just going to circle the area then. So, Hoover Reservoir. She's just to the south of that. I'm going to leave my cursor over it. Right here. Tornado is moving right for the Hoover Reservoir. And then there's another one right near Versailles. Anthony, Sam Lowe, no. Chicago is in the clear. You guys are on the cool side of the front. You guys are definitely on the cool side of the front. Nothing's going to happen up there anymore. Another big tornado near Bradford. Versailles has a dangerous tornado on the ground. You can see it. Very, very impressive gate to gate just to the south of Versailles, Ohio, headed towards Piqua. Everything's starting to slow down. I don't know if the computer's getting bogged down or what, but I'm noticing a little bit of latency in my radar here, which is not good. I don't need to lose it. Newcastle Moreland has a very, very strong supercell moving towards it as well, with an extension of the tornado warning headed towards Hagerstown, Dalton, and Fountain City. Richmond is going to be on the northern side of it. Cambridge is going to be on the northern side of it. A mass casualty event. No, I did not see that. Unless you're talking about that half-a-mile wide tornado earlier. Illinois still has 2 active tornado warnings. We have 2 active tornado warnings in southeast Indiana, or I should say eastern Indiana. What's going on down to the south? We have a new tornado warning in Arkansas. Hot Springs, Arkansas. We're getting there right now. Hot Springs, Arkansas. We have a severe thunderstorm warning just to your immediate north. Tornado warning moving through Odin, Mount Ida. Let me get the radar imagery up. We're into Arkansas. I'm using the Little Rock radar. Oh, yeah, definitely a nice rotating cell headed towards Hot Springs Village, just to the north of Hot Springs. Odin has a nice rotating cell moving right through it near Mount Ida. Fairly lesser urbanized area, it seems like, so nothing in the way of extreme danger to immediate folks. I'm surprised this Hot Springs Village is not tornado warned. You'd think it'd be tornado warned. Base velocity looks really good. I mean, I don't know if National Weather Service is just having a hard time issuing warnings. Are they behind or what? But this definitely warrants a tornado warning. Looks like the one down to the south of Hot Springs, Malvern, Arkadelphia, could possibly be trying to spin as well. And we still got a tornado on the ground, or a tornado warning in Dallas-Fort Worth to the north of Dallas. Well to the north of Dallas. I can't even see it on the radar anymore. I need to get a better radar sight. Here we go. Let's go to the long-range one. Yeah, there we go. There it is. There she is right there. You can see the really good shear in there. Yep, gate-to-gate shear. Let me go to base velocity. I don't want the high res. Storm relative velocity. Not that impressive, but it's definitely spinning. Jeez, I wish I could be out there right now. All right, I'm going back up towards Ohio. We got about maybe 10 more minutes until that system comes crashing into that area of Ohio. Going back down to the radar here. Still a potential tornado on the ground. There's no storm reports out there. It looks like we have a storm spotter just out ahead of it, just out in front of it. There's a storm spotter postured in northwest Westerville, it looks like. Nah, it's not weakening. It looked like it was weakening for a second there. Base velocity is still very consolidated, very good inbound, outbound rotation in it. It is heading right towards the intersection between Sunbury and Westerville. Yes, Sunbury, Ohio, I completely agree. Evacuate or shelter. I wouldn't even say evacuate. You need to just take shelter. Sunbury, Westerville, you need to take shelter right now. Delaware, take shelter. Powell, Berkshire, Scioto need to be taking shelter right now. Indianapolis, let me go take a look at Indianapolis. I wouldn't be surprised if the siren is going off. Greenville, Bradford, Piqua, dangerous tornado again. Another strong one, a very strong one. We have blue values for inbound, dark red values for outbound. Powerful tornado out there as well. Indianapolis, thankfully, does not have a tornado on the ground. No tornado-warned storms, although there's definitely some very, very, very strong winds going through there right now. Yeah, I don't see anything warranting a tornado warning in the immediate Indianapolis area. Can you check Green, Ohio again? I'm terrified. I will, yes. Let me get over there right now. Let me just make sure I'm looking in the right area. Green, Ohio. Near Akron. South of Cleveland. So Cleveland is there. We're going to use... We're talking Greene County. Is it a Greene? Is it a city, Greene? Or are we talking Greene County? I have Greene County just south of Akron. It's headed right towards you as well. Smitty Prods, take shelter. I would recommend you take shelter. Stay sheltered in place. Gonna say it again, probably multiple times on this live stream, but please get to the centermost part of your house, find a bathtub, put a mattress over you. Even if you have to throw a mattress over top of you, rip it off the bed, do what you need to do, but it is headed right towards you. Yes, it is headed right towards you, and it'll be there in about 10-15 minutes. It's moving through West Salem right now. I can see it rotating through. It's a very weak signature, so we might have a chance that it'll fall apart before it gets to you. It still has to pass through Rittman, New Franklin, Barberton before it gets to Green, but there is definitely a tornado warning pointed straight at you. And there are very, very strong winds, and it looks like there is a really good outflow boundary moving through Cuyahoga Falls and Akron. Very, very strong change in the wind speeds up there near Bath Township, Cuyahoga Falls, and Stowe and Akron moving through your area. So you're going to definitely get hit with something. Which link? This one right here? Or no, wait, right here. Tornado in Hancock County, Ohio. Luckily, it looks like it's in a very rural area, though. I should be able to. Yes, I'll turn over to Terre Haute in a second. Terre Haute. Probably saying that wrong. Sunbury, Westerville, Berkshire, it is almost closing time. It is just about in your area. You've got about 5 minutes. You need to be sheltered now. You need to not be moving around. You need to be sheltered in place. It is right on top of you at this point. It looks like we are finally weakening. It looks like we are trying to weaken, but there is still very, very good gate-to-gate shear. Let me switch over to the base velocity. It's moving into Scioto, Delaware right now. Sunbury, you have about 5 minutes. Sunbury, it's headed right towards you. South, southern Sunbury, northern Westerville. It's going to pass right over the Hoover Reservoir. Sorry, Em, I got distracted. I was looking at that is a gnarly supercell moving towards Pequea. Bradford is getting slammed right now. There's a strong tornado in Bradford, Ohio. Back towards Terre Haute. There we go. So it looks like, I would imagine, the worst of the tornado activity in Terre Haute. Please correct me if I'm saying that wrong, by the way. Type the pronunciation in the chat if you wouldn't mind. I'm totally fine with being corrected and criticized. But it looks like the tornado threat for your area is going down. We are now into the flash flood potential because we have a lot of consolidated cells near Terre Haute. You have flash flood warnings just in your immediate upstream vicinity, just south of Paris, getting ready to cross into Indiana right now. So, yeah, and then you have a strong thunderstorm right over top of you, severe warned. So you could possibly be seeing hail out of this as well still. Newcastle, Richmond, strong tornadoes. Just east of Greenville, strong tornado. Yeah, no, that supercell near Delaware is not weakening. It's hard to tell if it's weakening. Does not look like it. Is still very wrapped up on itself, and it is rain wrapped. No, that thing is definitely still producing a tornado. Sunbury and Westerville, you need to be taking shelter. Please, you need to be taking shelter. Haute. Sorry, it's like boat. Haute. Okay, Terre Haute. Not Hoot. I don't know why I kept saying Hoot, actually, come to think of it. That's how tired I am. I apologize. But it definitely looks like the greatest severe potential for your area has dwindled. It looks like you guys are now on the backside of a large majority of this stuff, and as every one of these cells pass through, it's also tapping the low levels of the environment and the upper atmosphere of its energy, so very soon you're going to be in the clear. You'll just have to watch for very heavy rainfall. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, this is it. Berkshire, Sunbury, it's headed right towards you. Northern Westerville. It is knocking on your doorstep at this point. If you were still moving around, you were in a bad spot. It is coming in, and it is coming in right now. It is moving very quickly, too, easily at 35, 45 miles an hour. Let's see. How fast is it moving? Yep, 40 miles an hour. Look at how I can just ballpark that. Looking at the radar. Wonderful. I still got it. It's going to be right on top of you here in a second, and I'm very concerned about the storm that's moving towards Piqua, Urbana, Troy. This system is very consolidated as well, very wrapped up in of itself, just to the southwest of Sydney. Check southwest of Porham, Oklahoma for me. I'm in downtown Porham, just waiting for the cells. All right, I'm going to swoop over there very quickly. very, very quickly. We got a new tornado warning in Indiana. I'm not too sure if how close are we or anybody pointed that out, but we have a new tornado warning in Indiana, southwest of Indianapolis, just south of Cloverdale. I don't really have very many areas. Paragon, it looks like it's in a very desolate area of Indiana, thankfully. There aren't very many urbanized areas. Closest area is Martinsville, outside of the warning. Paragon is outside of the warning, south of Cloverdale, moving due east. Olney, we've got a tornado warning right on top of you. Fairfield, you've got a tornado warning on top of you. Southeastern Illinois. Flash flood warnings are taking over a large majority of central and southern Illinois as well. We have a big squall line moving through the extreme southeast portion of Missouri. So if I have Missourians out there, Missourians watching, you're just about in the clear. Everywhere else in Missouri has quieted down. That squall line is getting ready to cross into Kentucky. So Kentucky, you're coming up next. I'm going to move over to the radar down in that area. Strong winds moving through there. Strong winds right on the leading edge of that squall. 40-mile-an-hour winds, as a matter of fact. 67-mile-an-hour wind gusts moving right through there, getting ready to cross the state line into southern Illinois, moving into western Kentucky. 67-mile-an-hour wind gusts. We got 2 tornado warnings now in Illinois, getting very, very dangerously close to Hot Springs. Very wonderful hook echo, immediate north of Hot Springs. Very, very well-defined supercell, textbook supercell. You can almost put that in a weather textbook. You can see the core, you can see the shear with it. I love how TikTok's saying you've gone live for 90 minutes. Don't forget to take a break. Lots of stuff going on in Oklahoma still. They've dropped the warning in Texas. Warning in Texas has concluded, but we still have 2 active tornado warnings in Arkansas. Flash flood warnings on the eastern periphery of Oklahoma. Fort Smith, headed towards Greenwood. Still have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings south of McAllister in Oklahoma as well. This one looks like it's going to try to produce a tornado. Arkadelphia, just to the east of Arkadelphia, headed towards Sheridan, Malvern, Whitehall, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Kind of to the southwest of Little Rock. It's going to try to intersect that Hot Springs Village thunderstorm. So far, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on TikTok, if you're watching on YouTube, the forecast is verifying. I'm not trying to toot my horn or anything like that, but so far, we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good for ourselves outside of Ohio. We missed the mark big time in Ohio. Ohio, everybody was caught with their pants down, for the lack of a better term. Here we go. It's right outside of Sunbury, Westerville. Still potentially large rope on the ground. Switch back down to this radar down here, get a closer look at what's happening in Piqua. All right, Piqua cell looks like it's trying to weaken a little bit. Looks like we're finally getting a little bit of weakening near Sunbury, Berkshire. We still have very, very good outflow out of this storm, or outbound velocities. What does the SRV look like? Shoot, no, that's still rotating. That is definitely still producing or capable of producing a tornado. Headed right into Berkshire. It's going to pass just barely south of this general area. That's the track that it's on right there. Let me make sure I loop the radar so we can see it. See if I got that. All right, it looks like it's getting picked up. It looks like it's jogging to the north. So Westerville, you might be okay. It looks like it's finally getting itself on track. As it weakens and we lose a little bit of that conservation of angular momentum, or the just natural physics associated with it, it looks like it's taking a jog at the last second a little bit further to the east. So it's headed right towards Berkshire, right towards Sunbury. So if you know people in Berkshire and Sunbury, they need to be inside right now. Centerburg, you're going to have to watch very closely, too. It is spinning up towards the north of Westerville. So, Westerville, Brooke, you guys down there should be okay. Winchester, Indiana to Greenville, Ohio, we had it confirmed. Let me take a look. It does. One positive thing is it does not seem like we have anything popping off on the backside of these systems. Does not seem like we have anything residual after these blow through. Westminster, Indiana. Where is that? Greenville, Ohio. Greenville is right next to, let's see. Let me get a better geographic spot on here. There's Dayton. Greenville is just to the north. Okay. Greenville, you're going to be missed. There we go. I found it. Winchester and Greenville. You guys are clear. There was a tornado on the ground. It is moving through Piqua right now. That's the same cell that we were talking about in Piqua. It is clear. It is off to your east. So Winchester, you are in a safe haven now. Greenville, you are safe. Threat has concluded. You do have another possible tornado moving through Newcastle, headed just north of Richmond to your immediate south of Winchester. Cody, you're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. Thank you very much for hanging tough. Hopefully we can get this TikTok to 10,000 followers so I can finally start streaming simultaneously. I know I keep saying that, and I feel so ashamed of myself. Plug in, getting the following up, but that is the goal. I want to hit 10,000 followers on my TikTok so I can stream simultaneously with YouTube so you guys can see everything. Is Indiana safe? Indiana is not safe. It depends on where you are in Indiana. We still have very, very active activity. Indianapolis and south. So if you live in the latitude line of Indiana, or not, stupid. Let me have a sip of coffee real quick. If you live upon the same latitude line or orientation of Indianapolis and south, we still have very active weather to get through. Further to the east and northeast of Indianapolis, we are clear. There's nothing upstream of you guys. Indianapolis and towards the south, we have to continue to watch. We have an active tornado warning to the southwest of Indianapolis. Cloverdale, headed towards Paragon, Martinsville, to the north of Elletsville, northwest of Bloomington, Etna, Ohio. Let me take a look at Etna, Ohio. Let's see, Etna, Ohio. What is so it's due east of Columbus, Ohio. Due east of Columbus, Ohio. We still have a long road ahead for my folks out there in Etna. In fact, Etna, you've got some very dangerous storms just off to your east. And that system that's going to move to the north of Westerville is going to give you a close scrape as well. We're going to have to watch that system moving through Piqua towards Urbana and Springfield. Yeah, that'd be a long track, but these systems are moving fairly quickly, so anything's possible. We have a lot of preliminary stuff forming off to the east of Etna as well. In fact, you're probably going to get some heavy rain down there in Etna for sure. Heavy rain in Etna, Ohio for sure. You have training thunderstorms popping off. They start over Reynoldsburg, move right over Etna, Baltimore. Debris signature. Yes, Metallica, Alabama, for sure. There's tornadoes for everybody. Mother Nature decided to turn into Oprah Winfrey. We've got a severe thunderstorm moving into Pennsylvania now. That completely breaks the rules. Storm Prediction Center doesn't even have Pennsylvania highlighted for severe weather, do they? No, they don't. They don't. We're breaking rules right now. We have the very, very westernmost border of Pennsylvania highlighted for severe weather, and we've got severe weather creeping in, so we're busting AORs now. We're expanding the AOR. Still no update on their charts. In fact, wait a second. No, they did. They updated, but they gave Ohio a 5% chance. They gave Ohio a 5. They haven't put anything enhanced out there yet. They need to have enhanced. They need to have the hatched area. What are they doing right now? Who's mailing in these charts? They just have the level 2 risk expanded for Ohio now. They still have the enhanced risk down in Arkansas. We're going down to Arkansas, as a matter of fact, as well. We have to watch this area of clustering cells right there near Newark, Zanesville, Hopewell, Etna. My viewer on TikTok watching from Etna, you've got some very, very potent training, moderate thunderstorms out in that area. We're going down to Arkansas. Oh, yeah. I can see the debris ball. It was there for a split second on the base reflectivity. Right there. You can just barely catch a glimpse of it right there. Tracking through. To the north of Hot Springs, moving through Hot Springs Village. It's moving right through Hot Springs Village. You can see, there it is right there. There it is. Very, very classic debris ball right there. Right inside of Hot Springs Village. I'm going to turn the camera around for my TikTok viewers as well so you guys can see what I'm talking about. There she blows right there. There's your debris ball. Moving right through Hot Springs, Illinois. Or not Hot Springs, Illinois, stupid. Hot Springs, Arkansas. Right there. What we're looking at is called the correlation coefficient dual pole radar. It helps you delineate between rainfall and different hydrometers, as they're called, or basically the precip types. And right there is your debris ball. That's not good. That is definitely a confirmed tornado moving through Arkansas right now. Potentially a dangerous one as well if we have that much debris wrapped up in it. Magnificent that we can see it. We can track the tornado using CC right there. Yep, there it is. It's been on the ground for a couple minutes. For my YouTube viewers who can see what I'm seeing, you can see it right there. That's awesome. And I'm not saying awesome in a good way, but that's awesome that we can actually track it. We can physically see where it is. YouTube stream is starting to lag a little bit too. I'm really afraid that this computer is not going to be able to keep up with this. You're going to have to watch the cell to the south as well. Malvern Sheridan, this is definitely a hail producer. It looks like it's trying to spin. Not a lot of shear with it. Well, I shouldn't say not a lot of shear, but not a lot of rotation with it just yet. Bowling Green, Kentucky, Trafalgar, Indiana have tornado watch. I live in Arkansas. Yeah, Zarhi, are you in Hot Springs or are you nearer to Hot Springs Village? Because Hot Springs is in the clear. You guys have nothing going on in Hot Springs. Hot Springs Village is getting destroyed. 3-inch hail. 2.75. 2 3/4-inch hail. Why don't we have a tornado reported down there, though? Where's the tornado report? We can see the debris ball on radar. Can they not see the tornado? We don't have an observed tornado down in Hot Springs Village. So you're, Zarhe, you're in the greater Hot Springs area, not the Village area, correct? Just to double check. Because Hot Springs Village is being hit by a potentially violent tornado. Okay, so it's to your north. Hot Springs, you're in the clear, the greater Hot Springs area. Hot Springs Village, if you know folks in Hot Springs Village, I really, really, really hope that they are sheltered in place. Because very, very violently rotating tornado moving through there. Debris ball, very, very evident on the CC dual pole radar. So absolutely a tornado on the ground. We'll go ahead and scan back up there here in a moment to see if we can finally get that tornado report. All right, it is game time. We have a rain-wrapped tornado moving right through Sunbury right now. Can still see it. It is definitely rain-wrapped. Weaker, definitely weaker, but still moving through there. Berkshire, Sunbury, it's right on top of you. There's a tornado right there. It's literally right outside. F1, possibly F2. It was definitely stronger about 20, 30 minutes ago. Alrighty, Metallica. Thank you very much for at least tuning into the chat for a little bit. Looks like there's another embedded rotating cell just to the north of North Lewisburg. You definitely need to get in touch with your brother then, Zarhe. You definitely need to get in touch with your brother because there is a tornado on the ground right there moving through Hot Springs Village. Westerville, Ohio, you have a tornado right to your north. Not even joking. Tornado on the ground right to the north. Canton, Ohio. Let's take a look at Canton real quick. Canton, Ohio is down to the south of Cleveland. Canton, you've got a tornado to your west. West-northwest. Yep, that's definitely a tornado on the ground. Can see it plain as day. Another tornado headed towards Canal Fulton, North Canton. North Canton, the very uppermost Canton, greater Canton area, is in the direct path of that tornado. The tornado is definitely north of you, Marry Me. North of Westerville, headed into Sunbury right now. I think that's the one that we were looking at just a second ago, Ethan. If I'm not mistaken, that one that kind of intersected. We were looking at it on radar like this. But Marry Me, the tornado is north of you. Thankfully, the last second it weakened, and it's starting to move a little bit further back to the north. It's starting to follow the flow a little bit more. Earlier, I was very concerned because it was not following the flow, but you can see very, very subtly on this radar loop. I know you can't physically see, unfortunately, but there was a clear turn back towards the right, trying to orient itself back with the overall environmental flow, which is good news. It's still definitely producing a tornado, though. Right there, if I can draw that projected path. So it just barely, it was headed right towards Westerville. Now it's in Berkshire, in Sunbury. So yes, the Happy Hangar, I definitely recommend that you still stay in place. Do not move, do not venture out. It is still right in your immediate area. You could probably see it. I mean, don't be misconstrued when I'm broadcasting looking at the radar right now. Just because it's not moving directly over Westerville does not mean it is not close enough to give you a close shave. Right now, to answer your question, Becca37, it looks like the twister itself is just to the south of Interstate 36, or State Road 36, headed through Alum Creek Lake, right outside of Stratford, or if not, right inside of Stratford, just to the very, I would say, a couple miles outside of Delaware, that intersection of Delaware, headed right towards Berkshire and Sunbury, Galena. Westerville is going to be in the clear. Worthington is in the clear. Powell, it is right to your north. You're in the clear. Dublin, you're in your clear as well, or in the clear. Is it close to Indianapolis? I don't believe so. I don't think right now we have anything near Indianapolis. No, not in the immediate Indianapolis area. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning as well as a tornado warning south of Cloverdale, south of Interstate 70 to the southwest of Indianapolis, not headed towards Indianapolis. It's headed towards the southern periphery of the, or I should say the central portion of the Interstate 69. Give you a couple of landmarks. It's headed towards Paragon, crossing State Road 67. Sunbury getting hit with 85-mile-an-hour winds. Hook echo near Sunbury. Yes, definitely. It's moving through there right now. There they go. They just extended it. They just extended the tornado warning. It's a long tracker. It's definitely a long tracker. 1.7-inch hail falling in Delaware right now. 1 3/4-inch hail falling in Delaware. Tornado still on the ground, headed right into Berkshire and Sunbury. And then if you're still watching up there near Greene, Canton, Akron, I believe this is also where Etna is. Still definitely have a rotating supercell moving through Rittman, headed towards Canal, Fulton, Franklin, Greene, North Canton. What part of Ohio? Smitty. We have multiple tornado warnings in Ohio. I'll give you a full breakdown. We have a tornado warning southwest of Akron, headed towards Canton, North Canton. They discontinued the tornado warning that was moving through Piqua, I believe is the name of it. And then we still have an extension of the tornado warning moving through the Delaware, Sunbury area right now. It's dropping just shy of 2-inch hail. Let me go down there right now, Weather Florida Man. Let me take a look. Okay, North Canton, you got to watch out. You have a tornado to your west. It definitely looks like that supercell is producing a tornado, just looking at the rotation inside of it. Should I go to Hot Springs and check for damage or keep chasing the western Arkansas cells? You know, I would say keep chasing, but at the same time, I would definitely, that's a tough call. That's a tough call. I would honestly say if you can make it to Hot Springs Village, that tornado is still there. That tornado is still definitely doing its thing. Debris ball is still on the radar for certain. It is still on the ground out there, just to the very, very immediate east of Hot Springs Village. It's going to try to make a run for Little Rock. M. Gilly, what part of Indiana? Because we definitely have a lot of activity in Indiana. Actually, thankfully, it looks like we've lost all of our tornado warnings in Indiana. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Southwest quadrant in Indiana is still very active. We have one tornado warning active in southern Illinois. But thankfully, Indiana has gone quiet with active tornado warnings. There are no tornado warnings at this time. We just have severe thunderstorm warnings, which means we're probably looking at 60-mile-an-hour winds and large hail. Lancaster, Ohio. You guys are in the clear. Lancaster, I can see it on the radar. That tornado-warned storm moving through Sunbury right now in Delaware, headed towards Newark, is to your north. Lancaster is okay. You're definitely going to have some heavy rainfall and some elevated winds, but M. Gilly in Indiana, like I said, we have severe thunderstorm warnings to the south and west of Indianapolis, but all of our tornado warnings have been discontinued in Indiana. In fact, thankfully, it looks like everything is finally meshing together. We're almost there. So, Lord willing, that final piece of our forecast is going to verify. Once we can get everything to wash itself together, and we're getting close. I was hoping to end this stream around 10 o'clock. I was guesstimating that looking at all the models and the way that things were just going to be capped after a certain point, that 10 o'clock is when all of our tornado warnings, if not at least 80%, 90% of them are going to be squashed. And so far, so good. So far, we're on track. We still have severe thunderstorm warnings. Of course, hail and wind are definitely going to be an issue. But I do think as we get closer to 10 p.m. Eastern time, we're finally going to cap off our tornado risk. And so far, it looks like we're getting there. We have 3 active tornado warnings here that I can see over the Midwest. We have 2 in Ohio and 1 in Illinois. And this area of very intense thunderstorm activity is finally becoming very elongated, very slinky. So we're no longer looking at our individualized supercells, nothing nearly as immaculate as what we were looking at earlier. How do I like my hamburger cooked? Usually about medium rare. Yeah, that's terminology Tahoe 475 we used to use in Air Force weather once fronts wash themselves out and wash together and all that. Don't have any more active tornado warnings in Oklahoma or Texas, and we just have our one small tornado warning down in... Oh, we got a new report. What is this? Roof blown off a house. Roof was blown off of a house in Hot Springs Village. In North Carolina, Isabel, North Carolina is quiet for now. Aaliyah, where are you at? Where are you located? Travis Cranford, welcome in on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining. Yeah, Tahoe 475, it's a genuine terminology. Basically, we like to kind of use that to describe when things kind of blur together, wash out. They just become very eroded. Canton, Ohio, okay. Yep, Canton, you need to shelter in place. Please, you need to shelter in place. This is a serious situation. You have a tornado headed towards you, potentially. A tornado-warned storm for sure headed towards your area right now. Let's go back up there towards Canton. Did they discontinue that warning now too? Actually, you know what, Canton, they discontinued your warning. The warning is no longer there. I wonder why the sirens are... Wait a minute. Why does this look... Did something just happen to my radar? Why does it... No, there it is. So they ended the tornado warning just to the north of Canal Fulton, New Franklin. It's headed toward North Canton, but they've discontinued your warning, Aaliyah. I don't blame him. I aspire to be at that point, just not botted, but I would love to have even 1,000 viewers in a live stream like this. Lord willing, we know it's going to happen during hurricane season, especially when we get our intercept vehicle ready to go. That's for certain. All right. Tornado has moved past Berkshire and past Sunbury. It's headed towards Centerburg and Utica in Ohio. Utica, I'm pretty sure. It's going to move to the north of Johnstown in Ohio. Aaliyah, I would still stay inside, stay away from windows, definitely shelter in place. I don't necessarily think you need to go to the restroom or anywhere that you need to really be sheltered or hunkered down, but please just stay away from any windows or doors just to be on the safe side. Don't put yourself near any very easily movable objects. Westerville is in the clear. Marry me. That system is now off to your northeast. It just moved through Sunbury. Berkshire is in the clear. Galena is on the back side of it. Harlem is on the back side of it. It's now going to move to the north of Johnstown and Centerburg. My uncle lives in Delaware, Ohio. Major hail damage. There's big hail that moved through there. Delaware saw the tornado more than likely. Where did my radar go? There we go. Yeah, Delaware is on the backside of it now. Berkshire, Sunbury, Westerville's getting light, moderate returns with this. Any reports near Greensboro or NC? It's okay if there isn't, but I just want to make sure. Isabel, are you talking Greensboro, North Carolina? Or is this another Greensboro in Ohio? No, there's nothing in North Carolina right now, thankfully. Gonna have to watch tomorrow, though. Tomorrow, I know all this mess that's up to the north is going to start moving down towards the south. Alrighty, folks, I'm going to take a bit of a sigh of relief because it looks like slowly but surely the forecast is coming together. We're now down to 3 tornado warnings for the whole Midwest. We have 1 in Illinois, 2 ongoing still in Ohio. And let's see what's going on. Arkansas still has the 1 tornado warned storm. We have no tornado warnings in Oklahoma or in Texas. Oh, no, I agree. I would never throw shade at anybody. Never. In fact, I honestly always look to collaborate with all these folks. It's just the same. It seems like it's so difficult to collaborate with other weather sources, whether it be on social media or, other media platforms. I would love to do collaborations. And I agree. Ryan has definitely done, I believe he's been on YouTube weather for the last 12 years now or something like that. So he's done his time. I haven't even hit a year yet. So I think we're doing fairly okay for ourselves. Yeah, there's definitely a tornado moving through Hot Springs. It's now to the northeast or east-northeast of Hot Springs. Let me switch back to the radar over here so we can get a look. Oh, dear God. Yeah, that's still definitely tornadoing for sure. Very good rotation with that cell still. That better not be a different tornado. Did that second system just swoop in and murt? No, it's still down to the south. Looks like the first supercell occluded and is putting off another secondary tornado. Looks like that's exactly what happened. We had our first supercell fully occlude. We lost the main parent circulation with it, and now to the due east, immediate east of Hot Springs Village. It's definitely making a run for Little Rock. So, Weather Florida man, you definitely need to, if you're chasing these things in Arkansas, Little Rock is under the gun for sure. Oh, I've read on his channel or somewhere else that he's been doing YouTube for whatchamacallit, for many years now. Or maybe that's just how long he's been a meteorologist in general. Yeah, honestly, Kevin, it's such a bummer to tell you the truth. I've actually reached out to so many different people asking for collaborations, and I've gotten shut down. I'm not afraid to shout them out either. I've mentioned it to Mike's weather page, nothing. I've mentioned it. I was told to mention it to Ryan Hall. I tried reaching out. I never heard back. I've tried reaching out to Mr. Weatherman. Haven't heard back. Yeah, there's like, for some reason, as soon as the conversation goes into collaboration territory, it's like they drop off. They think it's all about self-promotion or I don't know. And it's not about that at all. It's a good idea. Definitely a good idea. Looks like this supercell is going to occlude very soon, too. System down to the south that was moving towards Sheridan looks like it's finally losing a little bit of its steam. It's still rotating, definitely very heavily sheared. You can see it, too. Look at that excellent shear component. We have a southwesterly steering flow, and then look at all that shear off to the east, or that westerly shear component. Excellent setup for tornadic and hail potential. No, thankfully, no EF5s. No EF5s, that's for certain. This is definitely going to go on to do its thing. In fact, it looks like it's going to try to move towards the right a little bit more, headed towards Little Rock. No more active tornado warning in Texas. That one cell that was moving through Fort Worth has officially cleared out. It's getting ready to cross the Texas-Oklahoma state line. Everything is getting blurred together. So I think it's safe to say we're getting close to the end of the tornado threat, at least for tonight. Everything is finally starting to blur together. We have one last supercell that we need to get out of, and once that continues to move a little bit further to the north and get into the cold pool, it looks like there's a nice little outflow boundary moving through here, so we'll have to watch this as it moves down towards the south. If they interact, it could possibly re-intensify it or just completely shear it apart altogether. We'll lose that low-level circulation because of that convergence down at the surface and that cooler air down at ground level. Let's go back up towards Ohio. All right, yeah. We're doing fairly good. We've lost our tornado warning in Illinois now. We are down to just 2 separate warnings in Ohio, so we are definitely calming down. It looks like we might be able to hit this forecast right on the head. I'm thinking 10 o'clock we'll finally be rid of most of our tornado warnings, if not 80, 90% of them. Then we're just going to transition. If you guys on TikTok have watched my update, from here on out, after 10 o'clock, we're going to transition to more of a high wind, flood, and potentially damaging hail event. But at least the nocturnal tornado risk will be very low, at least much lower than what it has been during this first kickoff of thunderstorms. You got to step on it, Weather Florida man, if you're going to head for Little Rock. That one supercell, that very organized supercell, is still moving towards that area. And Brooke Ward, yes, that very phenomenal evening keeping you guys out of harm's way, especially your folks up there in Westerville. That was a freaking close call. How's Kentucky looking right now? Kentucky's doing okay. Kentucky is quiet. It looks like we might have some more discrete activity trying to form up on the leading edge of this stuff, but they're not really firing too heavily. Kentucky is okay, though. We have some severe thunderstorms beginning to make their way into western Kentucky, but everything has formed a very, very definitive line. So the tornado threat is going to continue to diminish, and we're going to move into the segment of this severe weather event that's going to be more or less a nocturnal hail, damaging wind, and heavy rain threat. As these systems converge and more or less mix together, we're going to start seeing rain trains popping up, and it's already been happening in Oklahoma, Arkansas. Missouri is just about all clear. Illinois is almost all clear. We're getting real into the cold sector of our approaching frontal boundary, even though I know that's the slower moving portion of it. We still have some gnarly weather going on in northern Alabama, northern Mississippi. It looks like there's a pretty substantial system moving into Tennessee now. So Tennessee is going to get in on a little bit of the action as well. ETA for Western Kentucky, well, there's definitely a line moving into Western Kentucky right now. It's going to cross the state line into Kentucky within the next 20 to 30 minutes. Bug Lady Nerd, thank you very much. I appreciate the support. I definitely appreciate the support. Thank you very much for watching. Where's the bad weather headed now? So the bad weather is all over the place, truthfully. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our MRMS composite and just zoom out and get a big picture perspective. So we have a huge, organized, quasi-linear convective line moving through Ohio, into Pennsylvania, through Indiana, the southern half of Indiana, southeast quadrant of Illinois, where we also have flooding conditions closer to interior central Illinois. Missouri is just about done. Missouri is almost completely finished. Arkansas, we are into interior Arkansas, where we have our one supercell tornado-warned storm that's moving towards the Little Rock area. Everything else is going to be heavy rain, high wind, potential large hail still with these systems. We're almost done in Oklahoma, and we're just about wrapped up in Texas. As I've mentioned in my earlier update, with as fast as these storms have formed, the threats are going to very rapidly diminish as well. They're not going to be long-lasting, and I'm very eager to see those tornado warnings diminish for Ohio. We're down to just two tornado warnings in Ohio, and then one in Arkansas, and that's it. Everything else, we're just going to go into the hail, lightning, heavy rain part of it. Braden, alrighty, thanks, man. I appreciate it. No cover needed. Where are you out of again, Braden? I apologize. And that front is going to be the driver of it. The main area of cold air advection, or the movement of the cold air, is happening through western Oklahoma into the Texas Panhandle. We don't really have a lot of advection or a lot of air mass movement through the Midwest or parts of the Central Plains, Ohio, Mississippi Valley. I'm in Owensboro, Kentucky right now. Okay, Owensboro, Kentucky. I'm assuming that's west side of Kentucky. Let's take a look. Okay, so just outside of Evansville. Let me see if I can spot you. There we go, Owensboro. All right, so your show is coming up in the next couple of hours or so. You've got some severe thunderstorm activity headed towards Mount Vernon, Evansville to your northwest or west-northwest, and hopefully those will continue to wash out as they continue to move towards your area, because at this point, they're either going to have to self-sustain or just ride whatever is left over of our cold front as we move overnight. We're going to lose a lot of our cape. The cape is going to be dropping off very quickly now that the sun has set, and all this rainfall is definitely going to help to wash the area out of a lot of that instability. And I keep saying wash, but eventually I just kind of cap it. Still have 2 tornado warnings in Ohio. Going back down towards Arkansas to take a closer look at that supercell that's moving towards Little Rock. It's going to pass just barely to the north of the Little Rock, greater Little Rock area. So, easiest way to communicate the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. The watch means watch out, because a warning could come at any moment. Tornado watch doesn't mean that it's happening. Tornado watch just means simply watch out. Watch for the warning. If the warning is issued, it's happening. And that's the same for every criteria out there. If you have a flood watch, a hurricane watch, a heavy snow watch, it just means watch because the dynamics are in play and it could happen. Best way I could communicate it, the easiest way to understand it. Watch, as the name implies, simply keep your eyes open, and whenever the warning hits, that means Take cover. It's happening. A lot of folks like to use the ingredients comparison, where they'll say a watch is like you have all the ingredients to make, your burger, or your taco, or your cupcake, and then the warning is you've made the cupcake or, the food. They like to use that comparison as well, if that helps you understand it a little bit better. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you all again. I have family in Westerville and Delaware. Oh, but I am in St. John's, Florida. Colorado Buffaloes. Wow, very good that you're down here in Florida. You're probably going to be tuning in, hopefully, for our future tropical discussions coming very soon, because we're definitely looking at a very active Atlantic hurricane season. But very glad that we can keep some of your folks out there in Westerville and Delaware safe. Delaware, unfortunately, got nailed by some really big hail from what I saw on the radar and with the storm reports. Popcorn, buddy, where are you out of? Washington, Indiana is southwest of Indianapolis. Let's head up there and take a look. So from the way it looks, Washington, Indiana is going to have to prepare for some severe thunderstorm action. You might see some sizable hail, but more than likely very, very strong winds at this point. Yeah, you definitely have some very strong winds headed towards your area in Washington. India, Ohio. Oh, what am I talking about? India. You're in India, not... Okay. Roger that. Very welcome. I heard you mention the storms around my area in northwest Alabama and southern mid-Tennessee, and there was some torrential rain and a lot of lightning. We just had the STW canceled. Yeah, and those were definitely... Didn't seem like there was very much popping off in that area or highlighted either. Oh, I was going to say, I got scared. I thought you were actually in India. I was going to say, then why are you scared? There's nothing happening down there. 2-inch hail reported in Sunbury. 2-inch hail. Wow. 2-inch hail reported in Sunbury. They still have the active tornado warnings out there in Ohio. I'm surprised this long tracker is still holding on. The one that's headed into Utica, just to the north of Newark, actually still looks fairly impressive. Yeah, it's hanging in there. Both of these are still hanging in there. Urbana has a potential tornado right on top of it, headed towards Mechanicsburg, Milford Center. Oh, there it is. Yeah, tornado warning crossing the Illinois-Indiana state line. Isn't that the same one from earlier, though? Isn't that just a continuation of the other one? An extension? Because I know we had a tornado warning in southern Illinois. Yeah, that is the same one. Continuation still. Looks like they had dropped it for a little while there, and that circulation's trying to hold on. That's good that they're safe. 2-inch hail is no joke. 3 fatalities in Indiana. Wow, that's when you know it's bad. The moment fatalities. Let's see. Terre Haute. You guys are on the immediate... You guys are definitely on the backside of it in Terre Haute. We don't have very much headed your way. It looks like the reflectivities have dwindled as well. Heavy rainfall, training rainfall, is going to be hitting your area in Terre Haute, or Terre Haute for M. Oh, we've got another tornado warning issued with that as well. It's blowing out. Mount Carmel. Carmel. Somebody had mentioned Carmel a little bit ago on TikTok. Mount Carmel has a tornado warning right on top of it. We have a embedded rotating cell, so this is probably going to be a fast-lived, fast-moving tornado bowing out right along the leading edge of our boundary here, our squall line. We have a couple different counties tornado warned right now. Crossing the Illinois-Indiana border. Nice little bow echo right there. Rushing of the winds near Mount Carmel. Indiana is currently getting hit, but luckily Indiana has seen a tapering of a large majority of their severe weather. Well, their tornadic weather anyways. Still watching those 2 tornado-warned storms in Ohio. In Ohio, to answer your question, let me swoop back over there really quick, and then we're going to turn our attention back down towards Arkansas again. Tornado warning headed through Newark, Utica, just outside of Johnstown, south of Martinsburg. And that Urbana cell is still hanging in there. Definitely still hanging in there. All right, let's head back down towards Arkansas. Still tornado warned. Headed towards Little Rock. Definitely a very, 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 very mature supercell. Wow, that's impressive. Very mature supercell. Look at that, guys. Super occlusion on that. You can see the tornado almost detaching itself. That's very impressive. It looks like it's collapsing. Hopefully we lose it soon. We're getting a little bit of outflow on it. Just got to hope that that doesn't intensify this cell down to the south that's still trying to hold its act together, headed right towards the greater Little Rock area. This is detaching itself, though. That's really neat to see. Look at that. Our hook echo is by itself. It's actually almost lost connection to its parent supercell. Very, very interesting. Specific area, Popcorn Buddy in Indiana. Where are you looking? Oh, pardon me. Wow. Bowling Green, Kentucky. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to have some pretty serious thunderstorm activity headed your way very soon. That line is going to make an approach. There's Bowling Green. Yeah, so later on tonight, in another couple hours or so, give it another 2-ish or so hours, we're going to have some very strong winds, potential hail. 3/4 inch to 1 inch in size, if that line can hold together. That Little Rock warning is very, very impressive. I was just talking about it on the radar. It looks like the supercell is detaching itself from the tornado. It's very crazy. Tornado's going free range. Look at that. Yeah, it's completely detached itself from the parent supercell. That's very cool. It's like it's forming up its own little anomaly now. That's very impressive. You've got a complete separation between the parent supercell now and that main core of the storm. It looks like it's trying to tap into the downdraft that's washing out very quickly, or rushing out. That downrush wind that's creating a little bit of outflow right in through here. You can see it on the radar. I don't know if you guys can see it from where you're sitting. Let me go ahead and draw it on there. Right there. That's your cold pool rushing off. But then there's your tornado possibly right in through here, detaching itself. That's crazy. We got a free-range tornado, guys. Free-range rotation. What does the velocity look like? Yeah, there it is. That definitely looks like the twister, if it's still down there, has removed itself from its parent storm. That's pretty cool. I love when we can see little phenomena like that. This almost looks like it's going to try to produce something here very soon. Maybe not. Try to get a closer radar. How is Lawrence, Indiana? Owensboro, Kentucky is doing okay for right now. You guys are going to have some nocturnal stuff headed your way later on as we get closer to midnight. Very, very well-defined line of squall activity headed in from the west, moving due east. Let's head on over to Lawrence, Indiana real quick. That's in the greater Indianapolis area, yes? Like northeast of Indianapolis. You guys should be okay up there, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just double check real quick for Diana. Lawrence, Indiana. Yep, you guys are in the clear. You guys are starting to quiet down. You're on the backside of our most aggressive activity. So just be prepared for some very long-duration rainfall, moderate or greater intensity. Naz, keep up the great work, bro. You're definitely one of my favorites to listen to and watch. I've got to go, but we'll see you on the next, hopefully, piece. Metallica, Alabama. I applaud you for the wonderful, kind words. Thank you very much for that. It means a lot for sure. Definitely helps keeping us inspired here in the Weather Center. It's been a long day, a long night, everybody. That's for certain. I know we've only started our live stream. Never mind, we started it 2+ hours ago. Disregard. It has been a long live stream. Coming off of a 8-hour workday and running around all morning. I'm in far northwest Greenwood, Arkansas. Okay, so you're getting close. But yeah, if you live to the north of Indianapolis, you guys are good to go. We just got to watch for some possible heavy rainfall. Still flaring up out there, but the closer you get to that cold frontal boundary, the faster you're just going to start to see everything stabilize, and our storms are going to calm down. It looks like that area down to the southeast quadrant of Illinois, crossing the Indiana state line right now, is going to try to hold its act together for a little bit longer as it pushes off towards the east, headed towards Louisville. Has a long trek to Louisville, but it'll try to make it run for it. It's headed towards Jasper, Washington, Petersburg, Monroe City, French Lick. Ohio got hit very bad. Yes, Diana, absolutely. I genuinely mean it when I say that. Yeah, if you guys are in Lawrence, you can go ahead and put the little ones to sleep. You can rest assured. You guys are not going to have anything crazy going your way anytime soon. You're probably going to get some heavy rainfall. You could see some residual winds, because we have a lot of outflow boundaries down there, very weak cold pools moving in all sorts of different directions as these storms go up and then collapse, go up and collapse. But in terms of anything that you guys may need to shelter in place for, no, I'm very confident in saying that you guys are in the clear just about. Everything is almost blurred together. In fact, yeah, it looks like the heavy rainfall is just continuing to spread out. We have a lot of flash flooding going on in central and eastern Illinois. Still have the tornado warnings in Ohio. Man, you have new activity. Shoot, that could possibly tornado right there. That could possibly try to do something, it looks like, just to the east of Cincinnati, headed towards Hillsboro. We got a new storm that just blew up in a couple seconds. No real shear associated with it, but this might get a Swiss, if not a severe thunderstorm warning with it very soon. It looks like it's very rapidly intensifying. Ville is already up there, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Swiss for it for a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch hail very soon as it approaches Hillsboro, New Market. If you know, Popcorn Buddy, that you live to the north of Indianapolis, you're good. If you live to the south of Indianapolis, you are not good. That's the easiest way I can put it if you can't. There it is. Dang, once again, you'd think I've done this before. Literally forecasted that to the second. Not going to lie, I got to give myself a little bit of a pat on the back for that. That was kind of dope. Not going to lie. So we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning right now headed towards Hillsboro, Ohio, Lynchburg. Probably very strong winds, large hail, greater than 50-mile-an-hour winds, 1-inch hail. That was superb timing. Very, very superb timing. We got to watch that closely, too. Doesn't look like it's going to quite rotate. It looks like this is going to be more of a pulse kind of thunderstorm. In fact, the tops with it are already trying to come down. What does the Ville look like? If this thing collapses right over top of Lynchburg and Blanchester, New Market, Hillsboro, you're definitely going to get some very strong winds out of it. Thankfully, this was not a major tornado outbreak, but this is a reminder that we are in severe weather season. Not a. I mean, I'm not. I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one, but this is definitely a clear indication that we are in severe weather season. Tornado season is upon us. Astro Dark Wolf, I do not think you're going to see a tornado threat overnight into Bowling Green, Kentucky. I think our tornado risk is going to continue to go down as we get past the 10 o'clock time frame. Nazario, this is one of your best lives yet. Love the hard work, honestly, and appreciate you keeping up with so much pressure. Thank you very much. How close are we? That means a lot, especially coming from you, especially with as much as we chat offline on the Instagrams and whatnot. Mick and Marley, I agree. That was definitely superbly timed. It's like Mother Nature was like, hey, you're right. So we have a new severe thunderstorm warning in southern Ohio. That's definitely going to be a hail and wind threat for certain. Going to continue to monitor these 3 individual tornado warnings. I know we technically have 2 tornado warnings down there along the Illinois-Indiana state line, but I'm going to count it as 1 because we're likely tracking 1 tornado associated with that with multiple counties. We still have tornado pushing into Little Rock. We're still tornado warned, headed right into Little Rock. We have 2 individual cells down there. So that free-range tornadic system has definitely continued on, keeping on. Very impressive. That thing is resilient. Very resilient. There it is. Okay, thankfully they finally got that out an hour before the event, but, better late than never. That's definitely moving in towards Little Rock, 150%. Let me make sure to adjust my stream a little bit. Make sure you guys can see what I'm seeing. There we go. That would make sense. Tornado's getting ready to move in. Troy Manor. Will there be a tornado west? I already answered that question. Troy Manor, Indiana. Let's take a look real quick, and then we'll very rapidly pan down here again. Oops, that's definitely not how you spell Troy. Let's see. I'm just going to look at there's Louisville. I believe you should be okay in Troy Manor. Yeah, Troy Manor is okay. You're going to have some severe weather overnight. You're definitely going to have some elevated winds, that's for sure. Potentially larger hail, that's for certain. But it does seem like down towards the south, you are away from our major severe risk. And especially our tornado risk, that's for certain. We're going to go back to Ohio really quick because these tornadoes, these storms are not giving up. There are some very, very, very resilient long trackers in this setup. We still have an active warning just outside of Mechanicsburg, Ohio, headed towards State Road 42 in Hillard. We might not be out of the woods in Westerville if this thing does not decide to die off. If it continues on, it is definitely going to take a close pass towards Westerville. We might get an unfortunate 1-2 punch tonight if this does not stop. I thought it by now would have died out, but it is still moving on. Still moving on. We just got a new radar scan. I'm surprised that other system just to the north of Newark is still tornado warned. What does the base velocity look like? Because that thing looks like a mess on radar. No, we still have some embedded rotation, possibly still rain-wrapped. SRV still looks decent on it. SRV has not dropped either in Mechanicsburg. That's going to make a run for southern Westerville, headed towards Gahanna. Upper Arlington, Columbus, Ohio is in a direct path. Deerfield, Ohio. Let's take a look. Deerfield, Ohio. I don't see it on the immediate radar imagery. Deerfield, Ohio. No, not Deerfield Beach, although I could definitely go for a beach trip right about now. Deerfield, Ohio is headed towards Pittsburgh. It's getting closer to Pittsburgh, so it's going to be southeast of Cleveland, Ohio. Let's see if we can find you. Deerfield, Ohio. Should be looking right at you here very soon. Deerfield. just about due east of Akron. You got a severe thunderstorm bearing down on you, that's for certain. For my viewer, Ava in Deerfield, Ohio, you got a severe thunderstorm headed towards you. Possible strong winds. Larger hail. SRV doesn't look impressive, though. That probably won't get another tornado warning with it, thankfully. Yeah, we've lost a lot of the vorticity with that, or a lot of the rotation. Thank you very much for asking, though. Sherwood, Arkansas. Megan, let's go down to Arkansas again, because I know that that stuff is definitely very, very aggressive down there. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, yeah, we're almost there. It's almost on target. Sherwood, you are in Sherwood. Megan, you need to take shelter. Please, 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 please. All right, we're not going to end the live stream just yet, folks. We're definitely going to keep on it. I'm at 62% on my tablet, and I'm at like probably 5% internally. YouTube is definitely very quiet. Don't have very many people watching on YouTube right now, which is okay, I guess. Sherwood, 100% take shelter. Please take shelter, especially if you're in a mobile home. That is not, I don't like to hear that. With like 10 pets, oh dear God, okay, then you definitely need to shelter in place. Yeah, it's headed right towards Sherwood, and we're going to lose it in the cone of silence of the radar as well. It's going to start looking disconfigured here, or disfigured in a moment. Jeez. Very, very, very occluded supercell. That thing is wild. This is probably one of the more gnarly supercells we've seen all day, folks. Please, yes, though, Megan, take shelter. Do not... How far is your family? How far? Because I definitely do not want to say risk it and get out of there. That's... You've got maybe 20 minutes at the minimum. $20 minutes, maybe less. It's pushing into Little Rock as we speak. It's getting ready to move into the city limits, I would think, across the street. Don't abandon them. If I were in your position, I would stick it out with the animals. In a second, Troy Manor looks quiet. There's nothing really happening in Troy Manor. You've got nothing in the immediate upstream, so you guys are good to go out there in Troy Manor for a while, at least until we get closer to midnight. Then you'll have some high winds and potential hail in that area. Sherwood, we're getting close, though. It's on track to pass right through the greater Little Rock, Arkansas area. I'm going to zoom out for just a second so we can go back up towards Ohio, take a look at what's going on with those tornado warnings, because we might have a second round going towards Westerville. Okay, did they just restart that tornado warning? No, until 10:15. So it could possibly be expiring here very soon, hopefully. Hopefully. Okay, now it's starting to look a little bit less impressive. Come on down. It looks like there it is. We lost it. Beautiful. All right. We still have a little bit of rotation in there. We're going to have to keep an eye on it for another 10 minutes or so, but finally lost that second tornado warning in Mechanicsburg, Ohio, headed towards Westerville, Columbus. No longer tornado warned. We might have another round of hail and high winds coming through with very heavy rainfall. Gahanna, Ohio. Where is that, without me taking my eyes off of the radar right now, Abby, where is that in relation to Columbus? Is it close, or am I going to have to pan to a different area of Ohio? Jules, Columbus was under the gun for a potential tornado, but thankfully we finally have discontinued that warning. It looks like our circulation has fallen apart in that cell. Yeah, we don't really have a whole lot of good rotation with it. There's some very broad rotation, but we've lost the tornado warning. So now we are back down to just 2 warnings in the whole Midwest. We're still watching that line crossing the Illinois border into Indiana. And then there's that still long track system that's still tornado warned, moving just barely to the north of Newark, Ohio. We're headed back down towards Little Rock. Okay, so Jules, then you're definitely going to want to watch for that potential hail and high wind producer. We finally lost the tornado warning, which is good news. I'm glad that we lost the tornado warning. So we're still on track. It's 10 o'clock. We're down to just 3 overall warnings, which means I'll take that as an 80% win. I had figured by the time we got to past 10 o'clock, we would finally be losing a lot of the tornado threat. Now we're watching what's going to happen as this system approaches Little Rock and Sherwood. It's headed right towards Sherwood. It does seem like it's trying to fall apart, though. It looks like the velocity is not as impressive. Either that or, God forbid, we're already getting into the cone of silence and we can't see it anymore. Let me try to switch a radar. Let me try to go to a different angle. Here we go. We'll go out to the west. Okay, yeah, no, that's definitely still looking fairly decent. Yeah, there's still some pretty decent inbound, outbound flow out there. So Sherwood, definitely make sure you take the necessary precautions, please. Yes, Jules, thanks for helping me out there for sure. So if you're out there in Columbus, Ohio, be prepared for some very, very strong winds. The likelihood of hail is still there. Dave, check Kamek Valley in western Little Rock. It's headed right there. It's headed right for them. It's, in fact, right about on their doorstep. It's starting to get into the greater Little Rock area. It's probably within city limits. Definitely seems like it's losing a little bit of its luster, though. That hook echo is not nearly as present. But then again, we are using an unfavorable radar. We're getting into the cone of silence near Sherwood. Still have a very, very dangerous hail core, it looks like. Jules, I wouldn't think so. As we get further and further into the nighttime, thankfully, we're just going to continue to stabilize, and a lot of the bad weather is just going to rain itself out. We're going to have a high wind and hail potential for much of the evening. Nocturnal cells are just going to continue to go through, but the tornado risk is going to continue to go down. You'll have to mainly monitor for small to moderate hail size, 40, 50 mile an hour winds with outflows or down rushes with these storms as they continue to rain themselves out and those updrafts finally come down. And then the flood risk is going to have to be not identified, but monitored as well, because with all these systems just compiling and compacting into one another and just creating this large sheet of heavy rainfall, it's going to continue to train over your area. So be on the lookout for some urban flooding. Little Rock is being ding-dong ditched, for lack of a better term, by this potential twister. A very, very mature supercell is moving through there. We have a gorgeous-looking occlusion, too. Look at this. Let me change the color of the ink for my YouTube viewers. I'll use black. There's your tornado right in through there, but look at all this dry slotting right through there. That's a crazy occlusion. This is like a micro-scale frontal system. There's probably some very, very strong winds wrapping around this bad boy. Definitely stay in contact with him. In fact, I would almost say ditch commenting in the live and just stay on the phone with him, Weather Florida Man. Just stay on the phone. Don't worry about chatting in the live stream. We got it. Well, they will finally get to use that expensive flood wall they built downtown. There you go. What will the storm wind speeds be in Bowling Green, Kentucky? That'll be a little difficult to call because that's going to be throughout the evening, so I would definitely think we'll see some elevated winds. They might try to get into the tropical storm level threshold, but by then we won't have as a robust of updrafts or decape to help these things really get going. We're going to have a lot of low-level moisture, and we might even try to stabilize because of diurnal or overnight cooling to prevent these storms from really creating as much of a down rush as they call it. And basically, for my YouTube viewers and my TikTok viewers, what a downrush is, if you imagine this is a storm and you elongate the updraft, as the name implies, and that updraft finally collapses, you get a down rush or a downdraft back down towards the surface, and all that mass in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere has to rush back down via gravity, and then it spreads out like so, down in the low levels. Let's switch over to our storm relative. Yeah, there's still definitely something rotating in there. Oh, yeah, that's definitely still tornadoing, heading right towards Sherwood, right towards Little Rock. Kamek Village, it's right outside. Kamek Village, Shady Grove, Holly Springs, it's on top of you. Holly Springs, there could be a tornado right outside your door if you live there. Shady Grove, headed right into your local area. It looks like it might barely, depending on where your uncle lives in Kamek Village, it might just squeak to the immediate north and ride the Interstate 430 towards Oak Grove and towards the airport. Foxcroft, let's see. Hopefully it's not too far to the north. Is he close to the Arkansas River? Oh, there it is. I see it. Foxcroft right there. Oh, geez. It's going to be a very close call. That is going to be a very close call. He needs to take shelter, and you need to stay on the phone with him as long as you can. Weather Florida man, stay on the phone with your uncle. Do not worry about the chat. Just stay on the phone. It's headed right into that general area. It could be there within the next 10 minutes or so. We're going to go back up towards Columbus, Ohio. Just do a quick little sanity check up there, because we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for that general area rolling through. Let me just make sure that we don't have any more indications of rotation on the radar. Yeah, that rotation is definitely very, very, very broad. It's weakening still. It's becoming very elongated, so there's no likelihood that there's a tornado associated with it. Yeah, you got very heavy rainfall. All that updraft energy, that core of the updraft is probably rushing down, and that's why you're getting such strong winds with that. In fact, let's see what the observation says. No gust. No gusts just yet. All right, there we go. Ohio, you are done. Tornado warnings are all discontinued. That long track just outside of Newark has finally lost its tornado warning. So, 11 minutes late. 11 minutes over. Not bad. Not bad. So now we just have one area to monitor. I don't think that this area that's just crossed into Indiana is really doing too much. They still have it tornado warned, but looking at that area, I would think that this is more radar indicated as opposed to observed. And in fact, we're more than likely seeing some very, very strong winds. Yeah, radar indicated. And it's only in effect for another about 3 minutes. It should hopefully expire in 3 minutes, and then we are all clear in the Midwest. And then we can just watch down towards the south. So we are going to be down to hopefully one tornado warning here in a couple minutes. Little Rock still has some big hail falling. We have a 1-inch indicator just to the north of where that potential supercell is. Oh, shoot. Is that thing strengthening? I can't tell if that cell is strengthening or not. It looks like the vortex is trying to reconsolidate and strengthen again. It's hard to tell, though. We're getting so close to the radar. Excellent call. Definitely Keep them on radar. I'm glad you're still alive, Megan. The tornado isn't quite there yet. And it looks like it's trying to fall apart, but it's hard to tell. We're going to hit the cone of silence for my Twister fans out there. We don't really have any other brilliant radar in vicinity. Let's see. Can I find a radar that we can still pan off to? It looks like this radar might be just a little bit closer. Nope. Just barely outside. Can't find a decent radar site, so we're going to have to use the one out of Fort Smith. Yeah, we're losing it. We are too far from the radar and too close to the radar simultaneously. It does seem like it's trying to fall apart, though. The hook does not look as impressive. We have a very, very, very resilient and mature supercell. It's got this tendril look to it. And we have our next system that's coming up to the south that might derail the whole thing. Hopefully this system down here can provide a little bit of a stiff arm interception. That's okay. How close are we? We're getting ready to end the stream here soon. Going to be cutting it very soon. I have one more day of work to get through, unfortunately, as well. I shouldn't say unfortunately, but, you know, just got to do what we got to do. That thing is definitely wrapping up, though. Looks like we might have lost the tornado, though. I know it's still tornado warned. It's hard to tell. It's very hard to tell because we have so much outflow in that area. You'd think that the thunderstorm has collapsed. And that hook echo has really fallen apart. We lost the severe thunderstorm warning up to the or upstream of you guys. So that's good news. We have a flash flood warning still in effect. Was there a power flash? Could be way too close to the radar then for us to get an accurate representation of it. I mean, there's still definitely very good gate-to-gate shear. Lamarche, Wildwood. It's going to pass just barely to the north of Kamek. Looks like it's jogging to the north too, ever so slightly. We're going to have another close call. Another very close call here. Very, very close call. It's going to pass just to the north of Kamek Village, it looks like. And it's going to ride the 430, like I said earlier. Definitely take cover. On radar, it looks like it's going to pass to the north, but obviously radar can only do so good. So he definitely should be sheltered in place. He is still under a tornado warning, so absolutely, I'm not going to argue with that. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a look real quick in Bowling Green, Kentucky. We've lost all our severe thunderstorm warnings for Kentucky, thankfully. We're down to just a special weather statement for probably 40 some odd mile an hour winds. Yeah, 40, 50 mile an hour winds with some penny-sized hail potentially. So we're starting to lose a little bit of our luster into Kentucky. We have one active warning still on that storm in Indiana, which is very interesting because that thing does not look like it's doing very good. It does not look very healthy on radar. In fact, it's very difficult to even see it. Yeah, it's very difficult to see it. It looks like we're getting some kind of beam blockage, too. I can't really see anything there. Is there another radar I can tap into? Mayfield, Kentucky. Yeah, Mayfield is in the clear. You were on the backside of our special weather state and or our Swiss storm is what I'll call it. Very, very disorganized conglomeration of extended bands of heavier rainfall. But yeah, Mayfield is going through it right now, and then upstream, you're clear. Let's see, Bowling Green. So Bowling Green, you are due east. Let's see, where is there there's Nashville. So, okay, Bowling Green. I see you in Bowling Green. Yeah, you've got some stuff flaring up just upstream of you. You're going to have some stronger storms moving through. But I definitely don't think you're going to have anything tornado warned. Hopefully. We do have a lot of stuff firing up. This is going to be our second wave right now, but it's going to conglomerate into one long quasi-linear feature for sure, or a squall line. Let's go back down towards Arkansas. Coming in now. Yeah, we are definitely getting impeded by the cone of silence. It does not look like that system looks very impressive, but you know what? Maybe the tornado itself is displaced. It could be displaced when it went free range earlier and the hook echo broke off of the thunderstorm. So it could just be violently spinning out there on its own at this point. Still have some severe thunderstorm warnings to the north of Sulphur Springs and Greenville, Texas. Preparing to cross into Oklahoma. Hoping that this system that's going to move right up into Little Rock, it's moving faster than that parent supercell, hoping that it'll disrupt disrupt its internal structure. Got a lot of storm spotters out there. No reports. No one's reported a tornado on the ground. Figured by now we would see something. We had the 1-inch hail report, but nothing else has come out officially just yet. It's getting pulled into the cone of silence right now. I still think it'll pass just north of where your uncle's out of. Switch over to MRMS real quick. Just look at the composite view. Yeah, I noticed that. How close are we? Very tiny little block of a tornado warning. You can see it right there, that little notch headed towards Jasper, just northeast of Oakland City. That's if it'll make it that far. That whole area is accelerating, so we're going to have brief spin-ups. They'll probably have a couple more tornado warnings come out of there very briefly. Everything in Ohio has merged together at this point. So Ohio is looking fairly good. Obviously, the threats are not over. High winds, hail, potential flooding are a threat still. Flushing, Ohio. Is that going to be on the north side or the south side of the state? Whoops. That's not what I wanted. Flushing is eastern side. Just to the, let's see if I can zoom in on it and take a look. Flushing is near 70. Just to the north of 70 near Morristown. Bethesda, Barnesville right there. So that means that Flushing is right in through here. Yeah. Flushing's got some very heavy rainfall over you, but nothing in the immediate vicinity of your local area, Flushing. So you're doing pretty good. Marion, Ohio. Well, Ohio is doing okay for right now. Luckily, we've lost all of our tornado warnings. We have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings out there, so definitely prepare for hail, heavy rain, and some potential high winds. I'll take a closer look here in a second, but as of right now, I'm not overly concerned with Ohio for the time being. Due north of Columbus. Oh, yeah, Marion is fine. Marion's doing A-OK. The worst of the stuff is down to your south, passing safely off to the east. Got a couple of upstream cells brewing up, so you'll definitely be in the running for some heavy rainfall, elevated winds. Maybe a spectacular lightning show has been alluded to in the chat as well. But thankfully, it looks like our severe weather threat is trending down. Well, I shouldn't say severe weather threat. Pardon me. Wow. Our tornado threat is trending down. We are down to just 2 active tornado warnings across the whole multi-region event. Actually, you know what? Oh, no, never mind. It's still there. Just blanketed by all the storm spotters. I was going to say, did we lose the tornado warning down there in Little Rock? But nope, it's coming through right now. Looks like it's going to pass to the north of Kamek Village, so almost in the clear. We just got to hang tight for a couple more minutes. Take a look at the single site here. See if we can get at least somewhat of a decent look. Yeah, it's still there. It seems like it. We're getting very, very heavily washed out by the radar cone of silence, but it's right over top Ivesville, Walton Heights, Hickory Hills, headed towards the Quarters, Oak Grove, and the KRBM airport. I don't know if that's called the Little Rock Airport, but it's headed towards the airport up there. Wadsworth, Ohio, yes, in Talk City. I would think that Ohio is looking pretty decent right now. I say decent with the exception of some damaging hail possible. You have to be on the lookout for high winds, and definitely the localized urban flooding could be an issue. There it is. So we did see that debris signature on the radar. Definitely saw that. Oh, pardon me. Still have a hook. Even though we're right underneath the cone of silence. So yeah, that thing is still tornadoing. It's going to pass just barely to the north of Kamek Village, though. It looks like we might have a little bit of a weak debris signature still on radar. Somewhere right in through here near Ivesville, Hickory Hills, Lamarche, Walton Heights. Let me switch over to CC. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit right in through there. Yeah, if there's a tornado, it's down here somewhere, because there's your hail core. You can see it plain as day on this differential phase radar, which is really good. That's your strongest core of the thunderstorm to the north and west of it. Gibson in Sherwood. Gibson. Trying to find Gibson. Looks like it's going to miss you to your north, though, thankfully. Oklahoma is just about finished. Thankfully, we're getting into the backside of things. Well, thank you very much for the $10 donation. I really appreciate that, Mick and Marley. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you so much for being such a spectacular audience. That's what it seems like. Yeah, we're getting close. I was thinking by 10 p.m. a lot of our tornado warnings would drop off, and they sure did. Couple stragglers, some long trackers, that's for sure. Very, very interesting. But Ohio is starting to dwindle. Got an extension of that warning in Indiana, so we'll have to watch. Jasper's under the tornado warning right now. No tornado warnings near Oklahoma City. This outflow to the north might try to disrupt it. The cell down to the south of Little Rock as well that's moving into Little Rock or might just try to disrupt it. Looks like we have a lot of good inbound. Well, let me change the marker again. We have good inbound values coming in from the north, and then we have this weak system coming up from the south. Hopefully that'll disrupt this tornado. Astro Dark Wolf, what do you mean by the question? Is it all the way to Bowling Green, Kentucky? Do you mean the thunderstorms? A tow warning. Sometimes we do need a warning for that, depending on whose it is. But all right, outside of the one straggler, it does look like everything is very heavily blurred together through Arkansas. And for my viewer out in Oklahoma, yes, we are nearly done. We have one more severe thunderstorm that's moving towards Durant, Oklahoma. Well, we still have some decent storms moving through Texas as well. There's some pretty substantial, strong storm indications up there. They're definitely adjusting the tornado warnings with that radar indicated signature up there in Indiana. So Jasper, I would definitely hunker down and stay safe. It's going to be right on the leading edge of that squall line, that line of thunderstorms. Bowling Green, nothing there yet. You do have your Swiss just to your west, so be prepared for elevated winds and dime to nickel-sized hail. I agree, yes. No tornado warnings around Oklahoma. Oklahoma is finished. Finished. We do have some nasty stuff moving towards Nashville, Tennessee. Yep. Special weather statement on it. That's the stuff that snuck out of Mississippi, Alabama. It's just surging up to the north. I noticed it did. Yeah, we got a little bit of rainfall in Central Florida. I woke up and the ground was wet. All right, more good news. Ohio is almost completely finished. We are down to just 2 individual severe thunderstorms and a flash flood alert north of Mansfield. So we are finally starting to see things taper off. Illinois is finished. The front's moving far enough to the south now to where we've almost officially stabilized the state entirely. We still have some flash flood warnings out there that we'll have to watch out for. The primary area to watch is going to be in southern Indiana. Lots of special weather statements are likely going to continue to be issued along the leading edge of this system because of just the amount of momentum and mass that it's carrying. Excuse me, wow. Going to head back down towards Little Rock, take a look. Still tornado warned, moving north of Little Rock. Moving north of Sherwood. It's going to be close. Still looks like we might have a weak signature in that system. Hot Springs Village, seeing another round of very heavy rainfall. Flash flood warning in effect. A little bit of a right mover signature out there. I really hope that's not going to try to spin now, too. There is some gate-to-gate shear in there. Yeah, it looks like it's consolidating. We might get another tornado warning out of that. Hot Springs Village. There we go. That's what I was hoping for. Look at all this good inbound flow. It's going to smother that tornado up there. It's going to dismember it. That system coming out of the south, headed towards Little Rock, moving through Little Rock, going up towards Sherwood, that weak one, plus all that inbound outflow that's coming in from the north. I think that's going to help to disrupt this supercell, and we're going to finally get it to wash out and get rid of it. Hopefully, anyways. That's what it looks like. We'll have to watch for that hot spring cell. Looks like it might go tornado warned. It's trying to, but it's not the most discreet or localized supercell. It's definitely trying to spin, though. It's trying to. It's trying its best. All in all, though, this whole area is just a jagged mess of very heavy rainfall and probably very strong winds. Severe thunderstorm warning out for that same cell that might be producing a tornado still into Little Rock. Ville's still looking pretty good. We're going to lose it, though. We're probably getting a lot of it messed up by the cone of silence of the radar. We're losing the beam. Yeah, there we go. I know we're still getting dorked up by how close we are to the radar itself, but it does look like we're finally washing out and we're starting to diminish that cell. It looks like all the outflow and that inbound stuff to its north is going to wipe it out. So we're almost done. I think we are almost finished with this tornado warning. I wouldn't be surprised if they let it go soon. Hopefully they do anyways. Hopefully there's nothing still on the ground or no funnel cloud out there still. Let's go back up north. Ohio's looking okay. Pennsylvania, we got that one random severe thunderstorm warning. Illinois is finished. We got heavy rainfall. Kentucky, we got special weather statements. Tennessee, we got a severe thunderstorm warning out. Headed towards Nashville. Strong thunderstorm blossoming out in that area. Yeah, it looks like we're losing it. Hook is disappearing on the radar. Everything's blurring together. I think everything converging over that radar near Sherwood, Little Rock, is going to help to disrupt the flow inside of it. Could be RFD. It could possibly be all the outflows rushing to converge in your area. There are a lot of weak outflow boundaries moving through. You can see it too. There's our outflow right there for my folks on YouTube. Right in through there. There's your outflow boundary coming down. That's your cold pool. And then hopefully this little guy right here, as it continues to wash out, it looks like it's getting pulled in. All this surface convergence is probably going to throw everything out of whack. So let's hope we lose it very soon. Here in a moment, though, folks, I'm going to get... Oh, shoot. Maybe not. Maybe not. Hot Springs Village is looking kind of spooky. No, never mind. Maybe not. Looks like that rotation is starting to die off a little bit. Nothing too promising there. You're in the physical tornado. There it is. Beautiful. We lost the tornado warning. Thankfully, we call it good. Right on the button, as they say in boxing. Very good. I was waiting for that to go away. All right. To my TikTok viewers, to my YouTube viewers, we're going to go ahead and start getting ready to end the stream. Thankfully, we are somewhat past the threshold. I was thinking, oh, no, I'd say we still did fairly well. I had mentioned after 10 o'clock we would start losing our threat for tornadoes, and, you know, we did it. So now we are down to just one active tornado warning. Technically. I mean, I know we have multiple counties here that are issued for it along that line, but you know what I mean. We're down to just the one localized area of tornado warnings. Ohio is pretty quiet. Illinois has quieted down. Missouri is completely done. Oklahoma is just about completely done. Texas, a very small quadrant of Texas is still seeing it, but the large majority of Texas is good. In Arkansas, we have officially lost our tornado warning out there, so Lord willing, we are all clear. We're going to get ready to end the live stream, folks. I am exhausted, but TikTok viewers, I'm not too sure if there's a way that you can review this. Thank you very much for being such a wonderful audience. We had a number of people tune in on TikTok. Lord willing, we can continue to grow that profile and get you guys simultaneously streaming alongside my YouTube viewers, especially when it matters most during severe weather events like these, and especially as we get closer and closer to our La Nina summer with an ever-anticipated or highly anticipated hurricane season on the horizon, which stay tuned for more updates on that as we get closer to the 60 and then eventually the 30-day threshold. Weather Florida man, be careful out there. Please keep me updated on Instagram. Hopefully our tornado risk is just going to continue to diminish as we forecast from here on out. Heavy rain, hail, high winds. Those are going to be the song and dance for the rest of the evening until sunrise tomorrow, and then we'll see exactly what pops off in Texas and in the Gulf Coast, and then we'll also start to finally review whether or not we're going to get some severe weather down here for the state of Florida as we roll into next week. Amazing stream today, 3 hours. I really enjoyed the whole thing. How close are we? Thank you kindly. Thank you. Thank you. We did it. I didn't think I was going to pull through. I am beat. But you know what? We did it. Goes to show I can go toe-to-toe with these other YouTubers who, can sit up in here doing 6, 8, 12-hour... I'm not trying to do that. I mean, unless we're in a hurricane. Maybe hurricane coverage, we will do something that long. I'll freaking request off. But we'll also be out in the field, too. Amen that your uncle's okay. Thank God for that. Wow, some close calls tonight, folks. Very close calls. We didn't have the most spectacular audience. It was a very intimate group tonight, but you know what? We did our thing. We still provided the coverage when we needed it, and Lord willing, we can just continue to go up and up and up and up and up as we go on through time. Share, like this live stream on both sides, and please consider subscribing or hit that follow button if you've been contemplating to do so. And, we'll definitely continue to keep you guys ahead of the weather. TikTok will always do our daily updates, and on YouTube, we will continue to do our live streams, especially as they are necessary and needed. Louisiana, we'll get into that tomorrow. Louisiana is going to be under the gun for some possible severe weather. I'm thinking more in the moderate realm. Our severe weather threat does kind of drop off. But yes, no, I agree. There were lives lost in the middle of this event, so we're going to maybe we'll do a debrief tomorrow or Saturday or something. We'll do a debrief and we'll talk about the storm reports. I like to do that on TikTok. Maybe we'll do a more low-key casual stream tomorrow or Saturday. So yeah. Thank you all very, very much for being such a spectacular audience, both on my TikTok and on my YouTube channel. You guys are amazing. It's been a lot of fun. Talking weather leading up to this event, and Lord willing, we will continue to keep you guys posted on what's to come in the near future. But that's all she wrote, guys. I know I like to do a spectacular outro, but I think I'm going to save that for next time because I'm going to go get some rest. Ladies and gentlemen who are still watching and folks who will be tuning in, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Stay safe. God bless, and thank you for watching. Until next time, this is Weather Center Nazario signing out.